alibis get swept aside. I got proof that can't be denied. The data don't lie, people do. Waves crashing, secrets in the tide. Facts and numbers side by side. Through the chaos I will abide. The data don't lie, people do. Look at the records, feel the vibe. Digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie. Plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify. The data don't lie, people do. It's in the matrix beyond the eye. Hard truth that's flying by. Evidence you can't defy. The data don't lie, people do. Look at the records, feel the vibe. Digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. The vibe, digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie. Plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie. Plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify. The data don't lie, people do.
Just for the 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4.
It's in the matrix beyond the eye. Hard truth that's flying by. Evidence you can't defy. The data don't lie, people do. It's in the matrix beyond the eye. Hard truth that's flying by. You can't defy. The data don't lie, people do.
Hello everyone, how are we? I don't know where they changed everything around on me here. We have a new interface at this end. It's good. There's not as much covering the screen now, so that's a good start. But everything's in a different freaking place. So that's going to be fun. That's going to make things a little slower than we normally are slow. Hi, David. Hi, Strong Leg. Thanks for joining us. Wonderful. Good to see you. Leighton also. Okay. So while we wait for a few people to rock up, let's, hi, Sheila. Let's have a look at some comments. Comments have actually been entertaining me the last couple of days. We got a bridge out. They took a bridge out to repair it, so we're stuck at home. So yeah, I've been I've been enjoying the comment section. Let me just show you some comments, because I mean, not all of it's great. I mean, let me start with a good conversation. Hang on, I'll put it in for you. Because I got trolls as well, and they just go on and freaking on, and they're like arguing with that. Oh yeah, I probably should show you what it's like arguing with. Although it might get my stream demonetized. Let me just see. This is what they like arguing with. It's pretty funny. Just to prepare you for what arguing with trolls is like. Let's have a look. Yeah, this one here it is. So I thought it was hilarious.
Time period of what? The time period when they were communists. They don't think they were ever communist. Why? Are you kidding me?
It's so funny. So the first thing that this Kyle person asked was, name one successful communist society, and this N person replied, Spain. and it just goes on. It's pretty funny. It goes on and on, like as if the N person never said Spain.
For successful communism, you said Spain, then you said Spain on communist. Yeah, are you broken? Not sure what any of your points were in this thread, but alright. I wasn't making any points. I was just asking you in which time period was Spain communist. Why is that so hard to understand? And I am telling you, Spain was never communist. What's so hard to understand about that? Learn history, mate.
It goes on. But anyway, that's what arguing with the anti-trolls are like. It's just, it goes back. They're circular arguments. They go round and round, and they act as if it was never them that said that thing in the first place. Yes, Gen X are pretty tough. We don't mind being blocked, and I don't mind blocking people. If they're being rude and nasty, it gets a little bit out of control. And I'm waking up every day to rude and nasty, then yeah, I'm blocking. I am not waking up to I'm going to ruin your day comments over and over, day in and day out, which is, part and parcel of running a channel. But I don't agree with Vince on that. Don't block anybody. It's like, get the fuck out of here. It's my channel. I block whoever I want. People argue over nothing. Right, they do. This is exactly what's going on. But I wonder, this isn't really like that. So let me share this tab. Let me just make sure I got... All right, let me share this tab. This is pretty funny. This is my back end of YouTube, how I see your comments. So you only read the trolls, Leighton. I'm trying not to be rude, but they just go so circular with their arguments. It gets frustrating, and you're like I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to be attentive to what it is you're asking me. I'm not trying to be avoidant. But you're going around on fucking circles here. So, oh, that's right. Wonderful. I'm pretty sure that that's the case. So this one was not a troll. This is someone who's on our side who says, wrong on this one, Aussie. There are post-message options presented to a caller after recording hits 4 minutes max. An unattended call like Karen's will stay connected for an additional 49 seconds or so before it's disconnected. The length of the call can be 520 while leaving a 4-minute message. And that's something that we did test. It was Rachel who was doing this testing because I don't have an iPhone, and I figured No point in testing it on a Samsung on an Australian carrier because it's probably going to be different, right? So I basically said, you can have an opinion. I have no problem if you've got an opinion, but the binary itself is telling us everything. And that was supposed to be a let's lighten up kind of joke because, we all know what telling us everything means. But then, it's heavy, but hopefully I ended better again. So I did start it lightly. So Rotten Jeff says, I'll go watch your binary file evidence, but it's a fact that calls stay connected after the maximum recording length is reached. We tested at home and the numbers were tight in line with the numbers being discussed here. By the way, I should add that the House defendants are so freaking guilty. So we're both on the same playing field. We're both just debating the topic and not getting personal, not accusing each other of anything, not using ad hominem or circular arguments, although it does get a bit circular. And I agreed, yes, it's theoretically true, I agree. But we tested this, Rachel and I did on her phone, and many other theories before I tripped over the evidence inside the binary itself. And I said more evidence in other binaries show the truncation of data. This isn't an outlier by itself. There are other files where this is evident. And so I said, go watch that video. He said, so he watched my video, which I give him credit for because, people generally sit there and argue and then they haven't even watched it, which I'm going to show you one of those arguments in a second. But I give him credit for that because he did actually watch it and he took in the points. He says your proof points 1 and 2 are the same. I do point out a little later that I didn't say they were proof points. I said they were sources of truth, which is a different thing again, and I'll get to that. The 51 seconds difference is there whether you use frames or just the times. Your expected value of 14,550 is nothing more than taking the 51 seconds, turning them into frames, and adding them to the 4-minute voicemail and converting to 1200 frames. So you've really just converted all the times to frames and then brought them back to times. Now, when you get into your third proof point, I'm completely relying on you as I can't dive into the binaries like you can. But from what I can tell, your third point proves tampering, but not this exact tampering, right? So I said, well, first of all, I didn't start from 51 seconds. We actually started from 72 seconds because that's what Rachel measured with her stopwatch. She was doing this visually when she brought it to my attention. So I started from the binary, what the binary actually says there, and then checked it against the 72-second math. And because it didn't add up, I dismissed it. And you can ask Rachel. She knows I dismissed it. I was like, yeah, no, that's not anything. But she was the one who kept on about it, saying, there's something going on here. I need you to look at it closer because there is something going on here. Otherwise, I had actually dismissed it because it didn't add up with the 72 seconds. But it was that point when I realized all the other voicemails showed a consistent 19 to 20 seconds that we thought, well, let's just try the math now. If we minus that and say, right, that's accounted for, let's minus that 20, that gives us 51 or 52 seconds, depending on which file we're looking at. And that's when the math added up. And the third point proves this specific AMR and the other outlier was tampered with, but all the other ones weren't. And it was proven because the binary payload, the binary didn't match the metadata doesn't match the binary payload. But all the other AMRs do. So that was the final test to see what all the other files looked like. If I got similar results from all the other files and they just added up no matter what, then I know that the other files are not tampered with, but these ones don't add up. So I know these ones are, if that makes sense. But it's also, remnant data left inside the files. It's not just me doing the addition. So, and I also said, yeah, let me also clarify points 1 and 2 are not the same because Rachel visually observed this anomaly with her stopwatch. And point 2 is what the binary actually says. So there's separate sources of corroboration, which is still not the same as what he was saying in his first sort of saying the proof points. They're not proof points, they're corroborating points. And the last clarification, I didn't turn anything into frames. Frames are written into the binary. That's its structural coding. I just counted them. The binary doesn't deal in hypothetical theories about potential carrier behavior. It records actually what happened in structural units, i.e. frames, with mathematical precision, i.e. ones and zeros, binary. It doesn't have theories, it has values. So this goes on for quite some time, and we finally get to he's sticking to his test on one file, says I'm wrong, but I'm saying, well, if you can get your test to, I think it was like, I don't want to bore you with the whole conversation because like it goes on for hours, days even, but we kind of ended up like, I was like, all right, look, that's your theory. Make it work for all 8 records, and I'm in. So, and also one more, that Verizon has a premium subscription that provides 5 minutes and 30 seconds voicemail limit. So your assertion only applies to your own carrier and to this one file where you personally tested your theory. It doesn't apply to all carriers, nor does it hold true for all 8 records. And also, let me add, I appreciate the reasoned debate. We're arguing anecdote versus reproducible. My mouse tied. Anecdote versus reproducible methodology using math and science, because computing is a science subject. And I accept your anecdote. And I appreciate you giving the floor to challenge it. So that's how that conversation kind of went. We didn't end up agreeing with each other. He's sticking to his guns. And I'm not necessarily sticking to my guns. I just know what the data's telling me. And if you're asking me to change my opinion on what the data's saying outright to an anecdote, I can't do that. So if you gave me an alternative, here's what this other part of the binary says, and that contradicts a bit that you read, then I could get on board with it. But that's not what he's doing. He's giving me an anecdote. But the point being, we didn't end up agreeing on it, but we did end the conversation amicably. We did go around in circles. We didn't do any name calling. So this is a great conversation. I encourage these types of conversations. These are the types of conversations that we can't have with the antis, because they just go around in circles, like that first video I just showed you on Spain and communism. Because that's how the conversations go. And I'm going to just show you 2 of them, which is way back up here. Let me just get back up to the top of it. So this person here, I didn't actually think they were an anti. I mean, I just saw it as a precaution, like, be careful. So Ben says, you're risking being charged with information with these ads. A TikToker was just found guilty of a murder case in the US 2 days ago. She now owes the person she falsely accused $10 million. And I wrote, well, she lost because there was no truth to her allegations. And I will win because my vids are based on fact. And I also provide the methodology for anyone to reproduce on the files themselves. And truth is the only defense from defamation, right? Except what the math allows. Yes, exactly. The bottom line is, if all the data doesn't match, it means something was changed. I believe Ozzy is saying something was altered and not even saying to what extent it was changed. Right, remnants left behind. So I can't tell you how much. Like, the remnants only point, the pointers only add up to 7.7 seconds, I think it was. So not all of it's there, even in the remnants that were left over from that edit. So you're right. I couldn't be exact because it's not, all the remnants are not left there. What they don't understand is nothing about the Commonwealth's evidence fits with the event they allege. Well, we're going to get to that, got milk for me, because that comes up in this other circular argument. Not the physical evidence, not the digital evidence, correct. So we do get to that. So so in this particular case, I just thought this person wasn't a troll. I thought, well, you know, she lost because she didn't have the truth on her side, and I do. But anyway, Benz goes, you're wrong. They are not based on truth. They are based on your skewed false perception. Good luck, though. They're cracking people like you. There's a point where I was like, maybe this is an anti. Sorry, ears. I coughed in your ears. Hang on. I gotta hit the mute button so I don't cough in your ears. Missing Ken less and less. Oh, he'll be back, don't you worry. He's very, very concerned that we're talking about files and things today. I'm going to get to that too. Show you what Ken posted while he was in here bitching yesterday. So I just replied to Ben's, you know, computer science is hard, I know, but it is science and it will hold up in court. And they're like, what are you comparing the lighting to? Do you have the original video? So I had to check which video she's putting this on. So this is the where's the missing audio vid. So I don't know which lighting she's talking about because I did the lighting I think she might be referring, or he might be referring to, is where I just did like a little educational RGB thing at the start of the video, where I show you the file is all chopped up. Right at the start of that, I actually just did an educational, this is how RGB works. So I just said that, you know, what are you talking about? Included an educational segment so my audience can understand RGB values. Do I have to prove computer science, the computer science behind RGB values in order to impart this knowledge? And they're like, that doesn't matter if you don't have the original video. And I'm like, what are you talking about? When it comes to understanding how RGB works, it doesn't matter which image or video I'm using, for fuck's sake. How is that even fucking relevant to your argument, person? Somehow I don't believe Ken Weeks isn't connected to McCabe. No, I don't either. I somehow think he is. Maybe some people on the internet are saying it is Jen McCabe, but I don't believe it's her. I'm pretty sure she'd have come at me a lot harder and a lot more sideways if it was her. Anyway, so that's one example of a circular argument. Like, you know, I'm talking about RGB values. Why do I have to have a fucking valid, original, fucking raw, valid video file? Not that any of us have got access to any original, raw, valid fucking files, which is where the next argument comes from. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm tearing my hair out with this one. So it says, it's crazy all the things you have come up with, trying to suggest this was some kind of frame job. There was no way anyone or a group of people would do all of the things you are suggesting. The single piece of evidence that proves to me the SUV hit John is that tail light pieces were not planted. What evidence do you have that it was not planted? I'm pretty sure that there's more evidence that the fucking tail light on the lawn, at least one piece came from John's lawn. So, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. Karen said red pieces was missing in an interview with Gretchen Voss, and Barros testified that a large chunk was missing in Dighton. No, that's not what he testified to, but you can delude yourself all you want. All of which was recovered at 34 Fairview. This means that lots of red lens was never on the SUV when it arrived to the Sallyport. Kerry testified to a metal piece sticking out when she saw it that morning. None of that happens from her tapping the traverse. Yeah, but how do you get wire pieces sticking out from a fucking green motherboard? That's what it is. It's a green circuit board. Where do the wires come sticking out from? See, this is where having a little understanding of digital electronics, which I actually majored in. I didn't major, sorry. I was an external student when I studied that part of my course, because my course was broken up, and I started out externally and then I went internally because I lived right next to the uni by the time I was in my second year, I think it was, of uni. So I did everything internally from that point onwards. But while I was external, I was the only external student in the entire university, which they've got multiple campuses across Australia, who actually passed digital electronics and microprocessors. All of that just to point out that I actually do know you can't have a piece of wire sticking out of a circuit board, all right? It's printed onto the circuit board. There's no wires sticking off it. Just so you know what a LED board looks like. And I wrote in reply, yeah, the binaries tell a different story. How do you suppose their fingerprints got there if they didn't manipulate the files? Again, we end up going around and round in circles. It's like, prove that that file is legit. And I'm like, well, I downloaded it Morrissey's website. Prove it's legit. I don't have to prove anything. I'm not the DA. It's not my job to authenticate videos that were produced in a criminal trial. It's the DA's job. Go ask the DA to authenticate the vids he published on his own website. I'm not sure which part you don't get here. And here's the link. Go verify your brains out. And Haywood says this means nothing to the videos you have shared. I can put up videos from somewhere else and point to areas where I claim have been manipulated, but does that mean they were ever manipulated there? Take my word. I'm like, no, don't take my word. You now have the link to go do your own binary search on every file that I have searched, and I've even given you the methodology. Chop, chop, go get it done. Off you go, or shut your mouth. The choice is yours. It's impossible to pinpoint any specific area when one might claim had been manipulated. Whatever. So this goes on. Like, this isn't the only thread where this Haywood's arguing I have to prove that DA Morrissey's files on that he released on his website are legit. I'm like, no, you go fucking go bitch to the DA. It's not my job to do that. So they're basically, reversing the burden of proof onto me. I don't have to fucking prove anything. See you next Tuesday. I nearly said it too. I don't have to prove nothing. DA is the one claiming this proves blah, blah, blah. Go freaking hassle him. Well, we can all argue what the single piece of evidence that says whatever. For me, it's more about if you put all of the digital evidence together and you find that the phones all started butt dialing each other randomly for no apparent reason on the same night or the car stuffed up, which is a completely different electronic circuit system. Is completely isolated to all of their phones, and then all of these cameras that we're noticing all these glitches happening, these are all completely separate to each other. And then all of the I could just go on and on, all the AMR video, voicemail recordings, when you add it all together, all these separate circuit boards can't just dick out on the same night at the same time. All right, that's the single most solid piece of evidence that shit's going wonky here. And it isn't one circuit board from one particular a system that's all connected, like Karen's car, for example. If all of those sensors and everything are all interconnected and they combine all of the information into the CAN bus so that different reports can get that information, then you can say, well, that's a closed system, so it could all fuck up at once. But we're not talking about a closed system here. We are talking about a wide open, like multiple different sources. So, it's all good, JC. We'll be here for a couple of hours, so take your time. If you got to it, you got to it. And if you didn't, there's always another video. So, no pressure, mate. I can't even remember what it was you were going to do to actually go back to tell the audience what it was you were going to do. You might have to do that. So, but anyway, I do have to give Haywood a little credit because I didn't get called names. Like they accused me of being biased, and that's entirely the opposite to what my videos demonstrate to you. I show you, hey, this is what I think, and then I go and work it out with the maths, and what do you know? The math actually adds up. All right, so now I'm going to go dig into the binary, because I'm not going to just go dig into the binary on a hunch. Do you understand how many tens of millions or hundreds of millions of fucking bytes there are? I'm not going to do it just on a hunch. So I start with, here's the theory, and it might be presented to myself by myself, or it might come from Rachel. Someone else says, look at this. There's the hunch. Now, if you've got, for example, you're measuring a room and you're looking just by eye, you think, I reckon this room's about 4.1 meters. That's your hunch, right? Then you get a tape measure out and you go, well, look at that. It's fucking 4.1 meters. So that verifies that your room is 4.1 meters. But then you're not going to go and sit down there and pull apart every freaking millimeter from one end of the room to the other until you actually confirmed that your hunch was correct with the tape measure, right? So that's kind of what I do. I start with the hunch, I do the math, and then I go, wait a second, this is not right. This is either not adding up or it's not adding up how it should. That's when I dig into the binary, and it takes freaking days in the binary. Days. I don't just do this for the fun of it, right? It's because something didn't add up that I do it. Right, Sun says the only wires are the wires that the entire assembly plugs into. You would have to remove the entire housing to see those. Exactly. Thank you, right, Sun. What if the witness was shown pics after the housing was removed? Yep, I saw that. I was trying to figure how Kerry could imagine she saw something, and I think you just hit the nail on the head. Because in my head, I was thinking, if she imagined that these were bulbs and not LEDs, bulbs like in my car, if I pop a bulb, then there's no wires. It depends. If I actually pull on the things that hold the bulb, then there's wires, right? That's what I thought she might have been talking about, but I think you might have hit the nail on the head there, right, son? Well, a Commonwealth expert did say that's possible to launch the car into space. There you go. Counting O's and ones is not fun, right? Yeah, we don't do this for fun, folks. Give me 1 second. I just got to mute for 2 shakes. Sorry about that. Oh, hello, Cupcake. Elk, Washington. Awesome. Aussie, it's been a while. Hello, mods and chat. All right, so that's been with trolls. I'll just show you one more thing. Kenny in the chat yesterday. So Ken Weeks, who came in the chat and accused me of manipulating these files. I was like, dude, what is your problem? And then I worked out he was an auntie. Remember that? Shit, they changed shit around on me. What am I pressing? Okay. That. Replace it. It's going to take a bit of getting used to the new interface look. So that's who it is. It's that ghetto tiger idiot who argues with everyone about everything and just goes around in fucking circles. And while he was in here doing harassing me, he's over there on X typing these FKR cultists. And I hate to disappoint you, Kenny, but I got excommunicated, okay, like over a fucking year ago. So I'm no longer a cultist, all right? If it's not if something is possible, launching into space has a problem. It's virtually nil. Exactly got milk for me. So yeah, Kenny's over on Twitter losing his shit because we're using our eyeballs. Oh my god, the world is coming to an end because these people are using their eyeballs. But the funny thing is, he's saying it's literally defense evidence. That this video that we're looking at is literally defense evidence, and therefore using our eyeballs on it is invalid, right? JC says that's easy. Demonstrate downloading the file from the Commonwealth and running a hash value, and then demonstrate that you never altered. Well, you can't do that in a chat conversation, but you have to do that like in a video. But I gotcha. That would be the easy way. The thing is, I would go to all the effort of making the video and then they wouldn't watch it because I don't like to be proven wrong. So there's that. Strongleg says bulbs or LEDs plug into a socket. The socket has wires soldered to it. That's right. The wires are the wire harness running to a bus bar. Correct. Should be no wires seen unless the whole housing is busted. Thank you, Strongleg. And you know what? The only reason I know all of this is because I just had to fuck around with the wiring in my car. I just replaced my old halogen headlights. My old what are they called? Genuine Toyota halogen headlights with these beautiful LEDs, made in Australia LED headlights. So they were really expensive, and I had to completely replace the entire cup that the headlight sits in. I don't know what you call that, but the back housing that the headlight sits in, I had to replace all of that. So I had to undo all the wiring, and then I realized that when my dad had the car, he had actually cut a lot of wires and then wrapped a bit of tape around them. So I ended up having to, when I got all my headlights in and everything all fixed up, I ended up taking it to an electrician and getting him to fix all my wiring so that there was no taped up bits and it was all just like clean again. And to double check that all my wires were all correct. Then when I got it home, I found out my trailer lights aren't working when I plugged them in. So I've been under there trying to work out, there's a separate harness for my tail lights, for my trailer lights rather. So the Toyota Land Cruiser comes with a bush pack. Usually in your bush pack, you get this extra harness, or they sell it as a city pack without the harness. So mine's got that harness, and I can't work out where the fault is for the trailer lights at the moment. But anyway, that's how come I know all that shit, because I've been under there checking out, following wires all over the place to the lights. So yeah, and I said that too. I have actually argued that multiple times. If the DA had just provided those files from the actual carriers, they're raw files to begin with, we wouldn't be sitting here picking this shit apart. So, it would be a moot point. So I did say that, Cornpote, in that conversation. Well, in another part of the conversation, but yeah. Oh, that raw file is gone. And then they just kept going round in circles. Prove the file. And I'm like, I don't have to prove nothing. It's the DA's file. You go prove the file. The problem is the DA never provided the raw files. That's the problem here. So if we read the court transcript using our eyes, we can't be trustworthy. Exactly. Because, see, if you read the court transcript and you don't come to the conclusion that they came to from reading the same transcript, well, then you can't be trusted. It's only when you agree with them that reading it or looking at something, has any merit. And the whole reason that I was doing these streams with you guys is specifically so that you guys get to have your say about what you think you see. I'm not going to disagree with you. It's your eyeballs. I'm not here to pay out on you because you've seen something different to me. So I'm doing the exact opposite to what they're doing, if that makes sense. When will someone tip the FBI, David? Hopefully they're already tipped. Like, come on. I'm not fucking Quantico, guys. I'm just a fucking software engineer. I'm like, not Quantico. These guys are way more experienced at this shit than me because they go looking for evidence all the time. I don't. So I'm pretty sure they got the tips. Aussie emitting diodes. No, JC, I'm absolutely not sure. You'll help me sort the trailer lights? Dude. Hang on, give me one sec. Dude, I just got to take it to an auto electrician, honest, because I can't actually get into where the harness goes up into the back of the car to connect to the tail light housing. I can't get in there. I know there's a trick. I know there's an absolute trick to getting the, because I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've got a video on how to get the exact rear taillight housing off of the Lexus. So I know there's a trick to it. But yeah, it's just, I can't be bothered. Can't be fucked. I'll just pay an electrician to do it. But it's a brand new fucking trailer. And from the day I picked it up, it didn't work when I plugged it in. So because they built the trailer for me and I was picking it up from the company that built it, they pulled out a couple of gadgets, plugged all the trailer lights into a separate source, and showed me that they were actually working. So it's absolutely definitely on my car harness somewhere. Keith, thank you, Keith. Keep up the good work and the good work, Keith, watching you from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you, Keith from Chicago. I'd love to see the real thing. Not sure what real thing you're talking about because I've moved 3 or 4 topics on. Hi, Ozzy. I'll help Ken understand bites. My pug is very good on the subject. In fact, poor John O'Keefe is too, exactly. Oh, is that Haywood from Double D Uncensored, the Red Wine Show? That the Karen Reid case. Oh, is that who it is? I don't know because I don't watch their shows. Because they bore the fucking crap out of me. It's like, it's the difference between watching Veritasium to the fucking Housewives of Orange County. I can't do it. Someone here suggested Veritasium to me. I can't remember who it was, but whoever it was, it's already on my list. I watch it all the time, every new video that comes out. So I'll bet there's a YouTube video of how to do it. Hey, there is a YouTube video on how to pull the taillights off of the car. I know there is because that's how I did the headlights. I did it all by watching YouTube videos. I mean, the parts were hard to source because to buy those the little buckets at the back that hold the headlights on, I had to order those from Japan, and they were like a 13-week wait to get from Japan to here. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm going to the wreckers. So I had to do the whole YouTubey thing to get those out as well and take them to the wreckers to replace them. So, but yes, there are YouTube videos. I just don't. I'm good with like the headlights were easy enough because I mean it's no more or less complex really, but I don't have to get into these tiny tight little spots and find shit in the dark. You can just take the grill off and everything's there in front of you, and then you can hold your like camera up next to it, your video, and you, oh yeah, that's the bit they're talking about. Okay, I can see that, and off you go. But this at the back of the car. This is a whole different kettle of fish. So yes, there is a video for nearly any car repair. Mine's a very old model Toyota, and so there's actually lots of videos for people who are restoring these models, like these older models. So yeah, there's probably an adapter plug for your car that you need. An adapter plug. I'm not sure, and follow ya. Dude, I replaced the plug on the back of the car. It's like a, how many pins is it? It's different to what you guys have got in America. It's I think it's like an 11 pin, I think it's called. It's an 11 pin plug. That's on my car. I replaced that because it was so fucking crusty. Like I don't think it's ever been replaced since new. It's like 20 years old, that plug, or 30 years old. It's a it's a 92 model. 96 model. So however long that is, that's how long since I think that plug on the back was ever changed. So I ripped that off and put a new one of those on. And then tested it with like the multimeter. Thank you, Cupcake. Tested it with the multimeter. But the issue is back inside where the harness. So you got the plug end, which is sitting at the bumper end, and then that harness goes into the bumper and feeds up the sides of the car into the taillight housing. There's a problem in there somewhere. So if I go in the taillight housing, take the taillight off and look in there, it all looks fine. If I go under the bumper, it all looks fine. There's something in between up inside the walls, and that's like, I don't give a fucking shit. Let the let the mechanic do it. Oh, you meant the real raw, right? I gotcha. Show us that real one, right? Yeah, just top the back hatch. There are screws in the jam. The entire housing pops right out. Yes, it does. It's inside the firewall. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Well, I don't know. Are they called firewalls when they're at the arse end of the car? But that's where it is. It's in between the outer skin and the inner skin where the harness is fed up through. There's something up in there. So it basically means pulling the harness out completely, which I can't be fucked doing. So brown snake nest in your taillight? Nope. Nope. Can you imagine Housewives of Maybe 11 to 7? No, I'm pretty sure it's 11 to 11. It's 11 to... Well, see, 11 is standard here in Australia, and I'm pretty sure 7 is standard in America. I mean, this shit had me so confused. But guess what? AI helped me work out which one to order, which one I should get, which one I should have on the trailer. So, firewall is between the engine and the cabin. That's what I thought. Yeah, no, this isn't at the firewall end. This is at the, like I was saying, this car comes with a separate harness for the bumper. So if you buy this without the bush pack, you don't get that harness in the bumper. You get the harness for everything else, and then the bumper harness plugs into that. So it doesn't even go all the way up to the engine, if that makes sense. It just plugs into the city harness. Fender, yes. Oh my god, the fender. Thank you. Between the skins of the fender. That's where the issue is. So I think maybe it might be like have rubbed itself raw or something along those lines. Like even if I got in there, I would still have to completely gut that whole harness to be able to replace that wire. So it's definitely a mechanic's job. Hello, Juju. I'm just going to call you Juju. Julia. Gotcha. Takes me a while sometimes to cotton onto your handles. I think my favorite so far is Older Than Dirt. Older Than Dirt's probably my favoriteest handle by far out of everyone's, but you'll give me a bit of a giggle with your handles. Yeah, so I think that it's actually in the inside the harness itself. There's shit going on in there, and when you're thinking 30-year-old wiring, it's probably time to replace it, maybe. But this is what I think happened. I actually had, while my trailer was being built, I used to have an LPG aftermarket system on there, so I could use LPG gas instead of petrol. But it got too hard to maintain the system, trying to find the LPG mechanic, because they've got to have the right government permits and shit to do the work on the LPG system. And the two dudes in my area that do it, one's a pain in the freaking ass, and the other one died from COVID. So my regular dude who does my car all the time, he used to do it, and then he died from COVID. The other dude is fucking useless. He's the one that put it in there. When he put it in, it bypasses all. Hang on. It taps into the cooling system. And the way that there's two different ways that you can use the cooling system for an aftermarket gas system. And the way he did mine was stealing all of my cooling and putting it towards the gas. So every time I'm towing a trailer or doing anything heavy with the car, it's overheating. And it's like causing all this red slop in my radiator. So there's some kind of electromagnetic bullshit going on that wasn't wired up correctly. So that's why I don't want to use that guy. But I ended up having to use that guy to pull it all out again. So I got all the gas LPG system pulled out, and that's when I think something has gone awry with electrolysis. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Something has gone awry when he pulled the gas system out. So the gas tank was put into where the spare tire used to be, and then all of that electronics was all run up through the firewall, under the firewall and into the engine bay. So I think when he was in there pulling all that out and restoring my cooling system, he's fucked something up in the wiring to my trailer. But yeah, that was all lighted up my brand new trailer. So I can't be sure that it wasn't something wrong before he fixed it. So, but that's what I think is going on. Anyway, you're a humble genius and boomer, whatever. Anyway, let's get this off the screen. Just get back to what we were doing. How do I do that? Oh my god. Can you please not change my interface every time I freaking open this thing? How about that? Okay. Yeah, hire an auto electrician. I'm done. Right. Yeah, it got way too complex when the LPG system was pulled out. So I don't know what the fuck they done. What the heck? I tune in late and you're talking about our back and forth. Love it. Why would we name call it exactly? I think you might be a little bit behind us, but yeah, exactly. We're both trying to nail these effers, right? It was a contrast. It was a compare and contrast, Jeff. You'll get there. He's a little bit behind, but he'll get there. I can fix just about any mechanical problem on a car, but when it comes to the electronics, yeah. Well, here's the thing, right, son? I'm prepared for anything a go. Even the electronics sometimes, but this one just got way too complex with the whole LPG system being involved. So when I was looking at videos, hang on a second, I got a cough again. When I was looking at videos of what should be under my bonnet, shit that shouldn't be there was there, and shit that wasn't, that should have been there wasn't. So I was like, holy crapola. So I'm actually pretty glad that the LPG system is out now, because I think I can handle most other shit under the bonnet now. Like just replacing bits, like I replaced the thermostat, and I'm trying to think what else. I mean, battery's easy enough. I mean, the battery was hard enough to get to because of all the extra LPG shit in there, and extra connectors onto my battery terminals for all the LPG shit. So, but I'm really happy that I'm back to standard now, because I look under the bonnet and I'm like, yeah, I know what that is. I can put all the pieces together now. Like, yeah, that goes there and that connects to that, and that's like your exhaust, and that's when all the LPG stuff was under there, it hurt my head to even look at it. So Ford put in a harness that wasn't fully encased and has a lot of broken wires from weather-related issues. You must be talking about something that you've got an issue with. So, oh, thank you, Gigi. This is not a current picture of me, just like full disclosure. This is an old picture of me. But it was one time when I had my hair all done up pretty, and, you know, the whole makeup done and everything that I kind of like. Vehicles with several miles. It's not uncommon for wires to rub. Yeah, that's what I reckon. Something could have rubbed or corroded. Yeah. Or the dudes that did the LPG just fuck something up. So something happened somewhere. But anyway, let's get into the video. Where are we? We're an hour in and I haven't even got into what we're doing. I'm still just crapping on. Sorry. That was supposed to be, we'll just crap on for a few minutes and then get into the video. All right, let's go here. This is going to want to play. Which I thought it would. Let's go here. What are we looking at today? Oh, I know. The first thing is, so this is the video. This is the footage that the aunties say is the ridgy-dig. This is the shit, man. This one is authentic, and the one I put up, yeah, that's one that I'm just fooling everybody. It's not actually the authentic video. Now, come on, where's my friggin' tools? All right. Share this. Hang on. Oh my God, I've lost everything. Share this. We don't need sound, so I don't need to worry too much about whether you can hear it. Can you see it? All right. Remove that. Get out of the way. Piss off. All right, so you can see that. It's all good. Strongly, I don't mind being distracted. I don't know if everyone watching likes being distracted, but I don't mind. Check for a recall. Yeah, it's way past recalls. Trust me. It's a 96 model, man. Whenever I pull apart a harness outside the car, I put a dielectric grease inside before putting it back together. Seals and keeps moisture out. That's a good. I said it right. Dielectric. There you go. Would you would hate to maybe have a sauce that has the original, and even if you altered it, it might hash with the same one, but just saying, I bet theirs won't hash. No, I don't think you can't get it to hash. Like, the chances of altering a file and getting the hash to match again is, I mean, that's the whole reason it's a 256 hash. it's 256 bits that have to match. So that's too many to the power of too many. I can't do the math right now, but you get what I'm saying. You couldn't get them to match. It'd take you like 10 years of rehashing your hash to get to the same hash again. All right, so this is the video that they say is, this is the prosecution's video, not the defense's video. The defense's video is fake, everybody. It's been manipulated. This is the Rigid Edge video. And my comment is, as you saw I put on the screen before, if this is Rigid Edge, then I want to see where Lexus ever offered lime green seats, because that's what we're going to see right here. Lime fucking green. I kid you not. Wait. What happened? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong play button. Dickhead. Check that out. What color are those seats? Is that lime green? I don't know. I called it Hulk green, like Incredible Hulk, but it's actually a lot brighter in this video. In the defense footage, it's Hulk green. In this footage, it's like fucking, what's that lime called? There's a specific type of lime. People make pie out of it. I forget the name of it. That's that kind of green, isn't it? But it gets worse. Like over here, watch over here. Look. What the fuck is that color? Key lime, exactly. Key lime green. Thank you, everybody. That green. It's just crazy, right? No, this is not filtered. No, strong leg, you got this wrong. This is not filtered. This is the genuine footage. This is the Commonwealth's footage. This is genuine. It is, trust me. Key lime from Florida Keys. Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a brighter color lime than a normal lime. You're wrong. You're wrong. Neon green? Yeah, I would call it neon green. Right. But, this is genuine. This is the Commonwealth's footage. It looks exactly how it's supposed to look, everybody. The problem with this footage is, though, I can't get to, because, like, look at the icons. See how blurry the icons are? Like, this is not clear footage. This is put up on the screen in the court, filmed by a camera, which changes the quality because it depends on what the camera is set to. The camera is live streaming, so it's not set to high quality, to YouTube, which also re-encodes it as it's streaming. And then somebody else, like, Emily or one of the lawyers, put it up on the screen, and we're watching a restream of a stream that's already restreamed. I'm not sure I got all that right, but you follow me, right? So Broccoli on the battery terminals. Yeah, that's you need to pour a bit of tea on that. Texas tea. No, just black tea. Genuine bull hockey. Exactly. That's what I said. No, it's definitely green broccoli that grows off of it. Oh, actually, you could be right. It's cauliflower. Whatever it is, tea melts it, right? Black tea melts it. Exactly, wonderful. Commonwealth wouldn't know Ouija did you if they fell over it. For those who aren't familiar with the saying, it's rigidage means genuine. So looks like the old television sets with the cup. Yeah, right. Thanks, JC. That's exactly where I'm going with it. All of the reasons you just stated about the video make it nearly impossible to do a pixel by pixel examination because it's a moving camera in court. Right. So the one thing in here, which, you know, I think is like, look here. See, yesterday we saw gaps here, like it was very obviously manipulated here, and we saw gaps here. And you really can't see that in this footage. It's not that obvious in this footage. So, but also the part that we were concerned with is right here. All right. Around here, you can't see that pattern that I showed you in the defense's copy. You can't see that pattern here. So if they're going to say that these key lime green seats, this is the footage we should be paying attention to because it tells us everything. It's missing a lot of fucking shit, including beige sheets, seats, right? So I can't analyze this footage for those same anomalies. If we were trying to do a pixel by pixel comparison between the defense's copy and the DA's copy, then I can't do that because the DA didn't provide it. He left it out of the FOIA. He gave us all these other fucking dickhead files, which we know are not ring footage because they're MOV and WMV file formats, which ring footage doesn't produce, trust me. Yeah. So I don't know how can we compare it? We can't because the DA hasn't provided it. So if your problem is that I'm using a file you don't like, blame the DA because it's the DA's responsibility to produce this shit, not mine. Anyway. Yeah, so that was the first thing I wanted to show you. This is what they are saying is genuine footage because it came from the Commonwealth. And I'm telling you, I don't even need to look at the fucking binary here to tell you that that's not genuine ring footage, right? Because there's no footage at all through 150 files from this camera that shows Karen's car seats as lime green. None. Out of all the files, there's none. So please explain, to quote Pauline Hanson, for those who don't know. Correct. It is the epoch time. If you do a conversion, you get the date and time. Correct. It's absolutely ridiculous that the O'Keeffes had to get new ring cameras if that isn't sus enough, right? If that wasn't sus enough. So yeah, there's that one. We can stop sharing. Hang on. Stop sharing. Shit. This whole new interface is giving me the willies. Share now. Share now what? Frame. That's the library footage. We kind of did that yesterday. I want to go frame by frame here. Oh yeah, well let's just put this one up just while we're at the comparing what they are claiming is the genuine footage. Let's have a look at this one. Look at the street lights out the front here. Where's all that neon green hue in everything? I know there's no snow there, but you can't tell me snow's neon green, okay? I pretty much know the snow is not neon green. The snow is white. So, wow, that's way better color. Exactly. So there's no major contrast going on here. Like this bush, this little shrub here is not like neon green. The light out here on the street, it's not neon green. Out here is not neon green. So yeah, you can't tell me that that is genuine. Even though I know that this video still isn't genuine, it's just a different period of time where they're not concerned with trying to jack shit up, basically. But anyway, let's get to this one. All right, let's zoom out first so you can see which one. So this is the footage from, let me just check you're looking at the right thing. Yep, you are. Must have been aliens that night since all Ring cameras were faulty. Wonder if you're talking about aliens, or are you talking about what's his name in the shit, names just fell out of my head, and so the joke's not going to land now. Forget it. Oh, everyone's names just fell out of my head just as I was about to make the joke. But yeah, we'll forget finishing that joke. Is there a headlight on in any part of that footage that we can zoom into? Hang on, which footage? You need to be specific now. You just go BU footage for backup footage, or what other footage you're talking about, because I don't know which one. Oh no, there's lots of squares in this one. You just probably can't see them because I'm sending you 720k. I just decided not 720p, sorry. I decided not to pay for Restream subscription this month, so you're only seeing 720p, so you probably can't see any squares at your end, but there are squares in this. This is really bad. Fitzsimmons, yes, you knew what I was talking about. Fitzsimmons case. What's his name? What's the alien's name? I can't think of his name. In the Kelly Fitzsimmons case, someone said, I think it was like the judge said something about the alien. So they're calling her ex the alien. But that was where I was going with that joke. But then all the names fell out of my head. So I'm a Cupcake was onto it. This footage, can you zoom in to the brake light? Yes, of course I can. Before we do, though, I want to just show you some stuff. So, yeah, but not the obvious edit squares. Right, this is the compressed squares. This is the macro blocking video. So, Justin, thank you. That's the dude. Before we do that, like Cornpay, put a pin in it. We'll come back to the tail light, okay? Right over here, I want to bring your attention to this. Cornpay already knows what I'm talking about because she's watching my ex. But yesterday when we were watching John's tail light, the bumper jumped out. Do you remember that? That was weird. Today we're watching the whole tailgate, like this whole area. Tell me what it is that you notice. Hang on. I need to go back because I'm not at the start. Right, back to the start. There you go. There's your macro blocks. Can you see the macro blocks now? Even though we're only transmitting 720p today. See the macro blocks? Justin Alien. Alien. Got it. Yes. The alien. all the names fell out of my head. You know what I'm talking about. It would have been a funny joke if it had Nuni. It would have been a funny joke if I piece it together with Wonderloft's comment, and then you would have laughed, but I forgot the names. Anyway, watch John's tailgate, his tailgate area, just this bottom part here as we go through this, all right? Tell me what you notice. We'll come back to Karen walking in front of it in a second, but what do you notice? I was thinking Robin Williams. Right, nanny. I hate when that happens. What, Bob? What Boda Bob? Well, when words fall out of your head, we got you. How's it going, Bob? I haven't seen you for ages. Oh, no, I saw you yesterday, but I hadn't seen you for ages before that. So, what did we notice? The name thing? Keep going. I'll play it again. More from Hawk, older than dirt. It moved. All right, I'm going to go through it again. Zoom out. Take it back. We could actually just do this whole minute. I'll do the whole minute and see what it is that you notice. See if you notice it. Hang on, I got my mouse in the way. I'm going to go all the way to the end till it stops, okay? They edited the tail light? Nope. It's a little wobbly because of the low quality, because they've actually screwed the quality and exported at such low quality, which is where all that macro blocking. So the windscreen up top seems to be moving a little bit, but I don't think that was the bit. That's because of the macro blocking. It's something else that's pretty obvious, and you're going to go, wow, when I point it out to you. I can't go any bigger on it than that, so I know there's some strange blurs. It's like, Compo, you're on my X. I'm sure I thought you would already know because you would have seen it. I posted it on X. Exactly, Juju got it. Julia got it. So now that Julia's put it in the chat and everybody knows what we're talking about, let's go back to the start. Let's go back and watch it all over again. It's like that all the way through for the whole minute. On the very first scene, very first frame, you can see 2 streaks, maybe 3, right? Well, they're actually over there. They're not actually over this. But there is some faint streaks that happen in maybe out of all 2,000 frames, I think maybe 5 frames actually do have a little bit of a streak that goes across the tailgate. Otherwise, it's on top of all the snow. This is real time. All the way through, it's on top of the snow. The back windscreen is not. It ends up with, snow in the foreground. Just every now and again, a streak does cover it, and that's it. It's on top the whole time. every now and again there is a tiny frame, like you probably it's really hard to see, but every now and again one frame has like a blur of snow that goes over the tail light, over the tailgate. I keep saying light, over the tailgate. All right, Corn Pope's noticed some strange blurs, and we're going to do the tail light on Karen's car and every frame in this slowly. So I feel like if it was slowed down, it would be easier. Yeah, we'll slow it down. Karen's Lexus almost looks like it's been isolated. There's no snow accumulation or wind movement of snow on the roof. Well, I didn't really look too close at Karen's car, but let's do that. Let's just come out a little bit. Let's just come out a little bit so we can see both cars and go back to the start. Hang on, let's come back here. Go back all the way to the start. Zoom in on these guys, on both cars, and then we can watch what's going on with both of the cars one frame at a time. So let's move through it one frame at a time. Here, see the snow starts at the bottom of it. You can see it coming out there, but it's not here. It's not over the tailgate as such. Karen's car's been driving, so there's no accumulation of snow on top of her car because she has been driving. So she had it parked in the garage, reversed it out, drove to Jen's and drove back again. So she hasn't been still in the snow yet all morning. So I feel like if it was slowed down, it would have been easier. Karen's Lexus almost looks like it's been isolated. Right, and how is it possible to have snow by the camera and not on John's car and not John's car? Right, it's between us and the car. So yesterday's 4-hour of a 1-minute video was mind-blowing. We're probably going to do something similar today, so hope you're all strapped in for the long haul. So there's Jen getting out of the car. What I wanted to do was watch Karen's head go over that tail light. That's what I wanted to sort of focus on. But I'll keep Karen's tail light in the screen so that you can so that Corn Pope can work out what she thinks she saw just a minute ago when I was zooming. So Karen's door opens. There's her head poking out. So her head's going to go sort of past just this bottom part of the tailgate. Right here. Oh, look at that. She got blurred. Right as her head ended up on the tail light, she's blurred into a little blocky blur. Not the big fat blocks, which is compression blurring. Look at that. How is it possible? Indeed, yes, but in the amount of time it's parked, in the amount of time that's falling, the accumulation, there should be swirls of snow on it as if it's parked. Or yeah, I get you. Whether any accumulation, there should be swirls. Okay, that's a good point, but they've only just pulled up, so I'm not one to say this is how snow should behave because I don't even know what fucking snow is like. I have to take you guys' word for it. I saw something. One of the snow streaks didn't move. It faded. Waha. But look at Karen's head. Can you see it? It's real blocky. Hang on. It might be that I'm sending to you in 720, so you might not see it. Like, let me get it up close. And let me get the two different types of blocky in here, so you can see that it's two different things. Get that, stick it up here so you can have a look what I'm talking about. Open with preview. Get that a little bigger. Zoomer in, zoom. Okay, let's put it up here for you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. Oh dear, Karen's head got bled. See how the different size squares, but so the big squares are macro blocks. It's Minecraft blockery. John's taillight. Hang on, let me look back here at John's taillight. But look at over Karen's head. I'm thinking, how did she get Karen to get in front of that tailgate? I keep saying light. How did she get Karen's head in front of that tailgate without and keeping her in the foreground? And now look at what we're looking at. She fucking didn't. She just turned it into Minecraft blocky. Pixel Queen. Pixel Queen Colleen. Love it. So that's interesting. Let's go back and see what hang on. Go back and see what it was that Corn Pope spotted. Corn Pope spotted over the tail light. John, no, sorry, it wasn't Corn Pope. It was I'm a Cupcake. John's tail light also blurred. Crazy shit, right? So John's tail light's freaking gone from the scene entirely. But yeah, weird that. How is it that Karen's face is blurred? Now it's back to, normal pixel blocky. Like these are normal pixel blocky. But over here, that was deliberate bullshit. See a square in front of the traverse bumper. Dude, you're going to have to be more specific because we're looking at fucking 2 million squares today. She could make legitimate money as a digital freehand artist. Okay, this is what it should look like because those blocks are, pretty much average size to every other block. But what's going on back here, that's not real. That's weird shit. That's fucking crazy town, right? Those are different size blocks, so she's done that on purpose. I see a square, says Corn Pope. I don't know how we're going to be specific about squares, but in front of the traverse bumper is all squares. Tons of squares. This is not going to be good footage to do those comparisons with. Other than this sort of thing, like see how they go real tiny. Like they're also real tiny here on the corner of the of John's traverse, but these ones here are all quite big. They're all quite large squares. So but we shall continue through and see what else. Is it me or is the Lexus have an odd outline compared to everything else? I think because they reduce the quality so much, the odd outline could just because of that. I don't know. So we would need to see this original footage before they compressed it, the fucking shit house out of it. Light reflection on John's Traverse and the Lexus is different. Yeah, on the tailgate, is that what you're pointing out? Yeah, on the tailgate, I think it's different on the tailgate because I think this tailgate came from a different part, a different video, ring video. I don't think it came from this ring video. I think this has been painted on from like a stamp tool. Get the stamp tailgate and plonk it under this tailgate. They messed with everything but the Lexus. I think so in this one because guess what we're not looking at here? Like the broken tail lights over here, it's out of view. So yeah, they messed with everything but the Lexus in this one. But yeah, let's bring Karen's vehicle back into it a little bit and move through. So like even here in this compressed footage, Karen's car seats are not key lime green, right? They're not neon green. And that bit you can see on the doorway. I'm just going to mute for 2 shakes while I talking away and I'm on mute. Oops. I'm off like a bride's nighty. Cheers, Wonder. Good. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. All right. A bride's nighty. I often say, wouldn't that tear the fork out of your nighty? And people are like, what? If you're not Australian, you don't know what it means. The smoking lamp is now lit. Smoking lamp. Smoking lamp is now lit. I don't know what the smoking lamp is. Oh, you mean over there? Hang on. I don't know what the smoking lamp is. You're using a terminology I'm not familiar with. Notice the light reflection down the side of the Traverse, a glare of light, no reflective glare on the Lexus. Okay. Reflective on the Traverse, but not the Lexus. Oh, you mean this one over here? Like, I don't know what that is, but it seems to be like glowing from Kerry's car lights in the background. Or are you talking about the glare off the back from Kerry's car lights and then the glare on the back of Karen's car? Hey, look at that. That one's not moving. Check this out. This one here is weird. Watch that not move. It's kind of changing color a bit. But it's very still through all of that movement of Karen walking past it. Could be a headlights, right? Navy. Smoking lamp. Navy. No, still not getting it. Because I've never been in the Navy, probably. Kind of feel like it's too hard for us to tell what's going on in this because it's already blocked. The only thing that kind of jumped out to me was that, you know, that tailgate, because I mean, that's the thing that they'd want out of everything in this image. What else would they want to change, like cover up? You know, the thing, I guess the one thing they couldn't add to this image was like Karen Reed going, here, look at my tail light, and pulling a piece out. Yeah, I still think it's because you're going to have to download this. I think it's because you're getting 720p. I don't think it is actually that smooth. I think it's actually pretty blocky, but if you download this from the files, Corn Pope, you'll see it is actually really blocky. It's not smooth. But there's none of the cut marks and all the roo going on that we were looking at in the other video. Like, we actually don't get this smoother view or cleaner view, even with the blockiness, of the other side of the taillight at any point, even though she's the same distance from the camera when she's going the other way. So yeah, it's hard to see because it's all good. But compared to the backup video, right, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't get this good a view of that passenger tail light in the backup video, even though she's the same distance from the camera in the backup video. But not fuckery, exactly. Look, we can see very clear delineation between what is the Parker to what is the actual tail light, to like even the side Parker on the side. It's all very clearly delineated, but we don't get this cleaner view of the other passenger side tail light, despite the fact that when she reverses out and comes here, she's that same distance away, if not closer, when she's like in this area coming past to get out the driveway. So the fuckery of it all, right? It's a very clean taillight. And you know what I was waiting for? Like, at some point in this footage, I was waiting for her Parkers to go out. Like, so, you know, when you pull up, you turn your car off and you like stay on for a few seconds before they turn themselves off. That just doesn't happen here. She's left the lights on. Actually, some parts of Karen's bumper isn't getting any snow on it. Hang on. Start from scratch. Some parts along here are not getting any snow on them at all. Look at that. How the fuck does that happen? A little streak here and there. Wow. Both of them are doing it. All right, now I got to go back now. Back to the start and watch Kerry's car. So we can clearly see this snow all over in the foreground, although in front of Kerry's car, right? So let's watch hers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The snow's all over Kerry's car. All right, well, there you go. So that is definitely an anomaly. Weird, right? Yep. And the gradient of color looks sound. Right. Both just drove. Oh, Kerry must have had hers out. Hang on. There is snow on her car. Like on her, like where her windscreen wipers are, but not on a bonnet or a roof. But oh yeah, she's got it all around her windows and stuff. I wonder if she parked her car outside overnight, but because I know Karen's was inside for the night. So you can see how much snow is set on John's. It's been out all night. Kerry's kind of looks like that around the windows. Could it be the white color that makes the snow camouflaged? Well, I don't know. Kerry's car is white. Her bonnet's white anyway. And Karen's car's black. 100% it's in the grill. So I don't think it's the color. I'm pretty sure it's like Kerry's car gets covered like over her bonnet, over her roof, all the white parts that we can see. It's quite obvious the snow is between between the camera and her car. But that's not happening here on John's bumper, and it's not happening in this area on Karen's bumper. So I don't think it's the whiteness. 100% it's in the grill. The grill? What's in the grill? The snow's in the grill. Yeah, look. Oh, yeah. The snow all through a grill. Gotcha. So if it was the white, like here, see the bonnet here blends with the snow in the background, right? Right here we've got a blend. So the snow's not disappearing when it's over her bonnet. Now you could argue that it's disappearing over the headlight. That's an argument that you could make, but John's got headlight like over here and over here on his tail, and Karen's got headlight all down here but not up here. Yet this area here, this whole area here that is tilted away from the light is kind of shadowed. You watch, the snow doesn't go over it. So I don't know. It's an observation. It's weird shit. The inside temperature of Karen's car is greater, but I think it's fuckery. Right. But why is so much snow on the back of a Lexus and nowhere else in garage or not? Yes. Investigative question. Why does that car look blue? Kerry's car looks blue. I don't think it looks blue. You're saying why does John's car look blue? Isn't John's car actually blue? Could it be the white color that makes the same? No, we already get that one. Right. My guess is Kerry's car is parked in the driveway. Both just drove. No snow on the hood. Remember that Karen parked inside the garage. All right, I'm just going back over just to make sure I'm not missing, because I've got to switch screens. So I thought Kerry's car was white. Well, the bonnet is, but I think it's two-tone by the looks of this. Wind and snow make snow go in all sorts of wacky patterns. Right. Kerry may have had a blue tint headlight. Ah, I get what you're saying. The headlight thing is the difference between your halogen bulbs, for example, and your LEDs. So the blue tint is showing us that these are LED headlights. This is the way that the digital camera registers those types of lights. When you see the halogen, you see it's yellowish. You'll see the yellow hue in it. It's a lot warmer. It's still white, but it's warmer. This is a cooler color because they're LEDs. So John's is grey. No, John's is a bluey grey. I wouldn't say it's totally grey. Hang on, let's go back to that. Oh, it is. It's actually quite silver. But I mean, I've seen angles of it where that's John's car there, right? I've seen angles where it looks bluish, like in the driveway. So again, when you're talking digital, to get this particular shade of grey, you do need to mix that blue color into it, right? During our blizzard last week, my van was completely buried in the front end, but no snow behind my van. Yeah, so it depends which way the snow's blowing, right? Strongleg asked a good question. I'm pretty sure I answered it. Strongleg, but why? Yes, good investigative question. I don't have an answer, but good investigative question. Light does do crazy stuff. I'm not arguing that, but there is too many other anomalies there. There's a lot, right? There's a lot going on in this, and that's why I thought it was a good little fun exercise to do this. So most of the anomalies, this is what bugs me about it. The anomalies we're seeing are here over the two back ends of interest. You go to any other part of this video and we're not seeing these anomalies. Like, there's plenty of video to choose from, and you're not seeing these same anomalies, right? That's what bugs me about it. So here over the house wall, it's not blending into the house wall. You can see it's a white wall. Snow's not going away when it's there, and it's not being camouflaged there. We've got a light source over here. It's not doing it there. Back to the start. It's only over the two rear ends of the cars of interest, nothing else. Unless you can see something else, like tell me to zoom in on something else if you can see something else where it's doing that. The other thing to Strongleg's point is that I do believe that snow isn't just white, it's semi-translucent and it's icicle, so it's crystals, so light refracts differently off, say, the white wall or the white fence, for example, because the snow is semi-translucent and it's crystals. So no closed captions. Sorry, CC, you can get the closed captions when after the video has finished, after I'm finished the live stream and YouTube has finished going through the camera, after YouTube's finished going through the stage, you'll get closed captions then. I'm surprised Karen didn't snag her shirt. snag a jumper. You could snag your cardigan on that. In my job experience testing military cameras, I've seen some weird stuff, but this looks like something has been changed in a few different places. Yeah, that I think that's where we're getting to as well, strongly, just in Rachel's and my analysis of it so far. I mean, I would really like it if Cornpoke downloaded some of these videos and got up close and personal with them to have a look at them as well. Because she's probably going to notice a lot more if it's not being restreamed to her. If she gets them on her own computer with a big screen. That's the other thing too. Looking at this shit on the big screen. Holy henna. There's weird stuff going on the big screen. So, I mean, just so much more jumps out at you on the bigger screen. So, let's get another video up. I think we've analysed the crappers out of that one. Are we done with this one? FYI, if military helicopters fly over at night, they can see you doing unspoken things in your bedroom. Right. Just saying. Right. I know we shouldn't be having all these fucking problems with lots of different footage like this, right? So once again, I just wanted to point out the frame rate is not right in this. It says 20 frames per second, and I think it is 20 frames per second, and I think it actually looks like a cleanly exported file. There doesn't seem to be much in the binary that I can see, and it would probably check out if it wasn't for look like a macro blocking. And now, you know, stuff that seems to be avoiding the snow for some reason. So don't know what they're trying to do, but they're fucking with us, mate. I just know they're fucking with us. Yeah. Yeah. I want you to look at it and then tell me what you find, and then give me spots, you know, either the frame number, if you've got a software that does that. I think Rachel said Adobe Premiere gives you frame numbers if you go through it with Adobe Premiere. And I think you can also get frame numbers from DaVinci Resolve, which is free. So I'm able to use the program to go back and forth in the frames. Right. Or you can have mine. I'll just send you mine. I can send you a copy of mine. Yeah. I'll just send you mine, this app here, because that's what I've done with Rachel. I've sent it to Rachel as well, because then we're comparing apples with apples. If she says go to frame blah blah, then we're we're both using the same software. So they want to say we edit the videos, right? I want to use AI to create a realistic ring video. Oh man, I'm having trouble reading right now. I don't know why. Get this on the fucking screen. Oh, that's better. I can see that. Of the night from the 34 Fairview door cam. I think it was a door cam. Oh yeah, AI to say this is what it would look like from the door cam. And say we got you we got you now. Gotcha. Okay, that took me a little bit to catch up. 100%. All right, I'll send you that in chat, in X chat, okay? XDM. You know what I mean. I can't say exactly what it is that isn't right, but I can tell you that this is compressed to the fucking shit house purposely so that we couldn't pick out exactly what it is that ain't right. So you've got the link, have you? Do you need the link to the DA Morrissey's originals compo? Because I'll send you that in DMs as well, if you haven't got the link to the original files. Because I know that there's several copies getting around of DA Morrissey's files, but some of them I'm not sure if either Corey or maybe Vince did their own processing on some of the videos to turn them into videos. Like the Agsies, for example, they did that to the Agsies to get them out of that software application. So if you just go straight to DA Morrissey sites, you're getting the originals that haven't been pre-processed through anything else. So you need the link. Radio. We will do that after the show, hey? I'll send you all the links and the files and shit, okay? Right. Coolies. Let's do it in DMs after the show, and then you've got them all. All right, next video. What are we going to look at next? Let me have a look what we got here. All right, you guys pick the next video. Which one do you want to look at next? Next. Any ideas out there? Let me have a squizzy. Do you want to compare maybe some of the original footage that I don't think has been tampered with in the driveway ring files? I know, it's up to you guys. Pick what you want to look at next, because I still got 5 a.m. footage. I'm here for it all. Don't go. No, I'm not going. I'm staying. I'm going to move to the next footage that we're going to look at. Oh, you want to stay on this one for a minute? Okay, wait. Don't go yet. Whilst you're doing that, I will go and have a look. See what else we've got to look at. I've got the 5 a.m. library footage. I have the I've got all the ring camera footage. I've got the front driveway at the front of John's house footage. Do I? Nope. Hang on. I must have it in a different spot. Or I haven't downloaded it yet. Give me one sec. We've got the Canton PD audios. Do one thing for me. Just zoom into the back brake light on Kerry's car. Yep. Yep. Do you want me to play through some of it? Just for 5 seconds before leaving this video. No, it's all right. Let's go through it. Do you want me to slow it down, or do you want to just go through it? Do you want me to slow it down, or you want to go frame by frame? What do you want to do? Do you have the police cruiser video from the welfare check? All right. Let's do the cruiser video for the welfare check. Yes, play. All right. What we'll do, I'll zoom in on it. I'll take it back to the start. We'll do that. Right in. While I go look for the welfare. Damn it, I think I deleted it. I'm going to have to go and do another grabiola of that. Hang on, I'll grab it again. Oh, hang on. I know where I've got that. I know why I deleted it, because I got it over here. Did that reveal anything, Corny? I have the other footage here in Pequisite Farm dash cams. Here we go. Row. And you want the I think it's this footage here. Let me just check it out, because it's 2.5 hours long, this video, so just give me one sec. Uh, 50 where's the 2.5 hour one going? All right, it's there. Let's have a look. I think it's here somewhere. Here we go. Let's I don't know how to do this. Oh yeah, let's do it this way. There we go. Let me turn that over to Corny uses such proper grammar. Yeah, they didn't screw with it. It moves properly through the compression. The area around the tail light of Karen's car looked smeared to me in the welfare check video. Yes, we're going to do that now. Replace that with that. There we go. So this is a different player. So it's kind of like zoomed out a little bit more. I don't really know how to get it zoomed in even more, but that's what we got. All right, let's play through that, because I do think that there's some stuff in this that might be weird. So this is coming up to John's house. And it's worth noting, I think this is all pretty like cool video footage. Like this green tinge here is something on the dashboard. I don't think there's a lot here that's really weird until we get into the actual driveway. Even then, I'm still not sure. That anything was untoward in the driveway. What I think it is that just some snow sitting on top of the tail light, so it looks like it's not there. Come on now. minute. I thought I got actually pretty close to it, but clearly I didn't. Right, let's get... Ew. Oh yeah, he's about to... Okay. Going into the driveway now. Holy henna. That looks a lot different, doesn't it? All right, let's get into we've got to do a bit of fuckery here to get it to happen. All right, so I'm going to take it back a little bit further, and we're going to move into oops. Huh. There you go. Now, if this was completely missing, so when we're talking about this yesterday, the, what do you call it? The outside lens is the bit that sticks out. And you can see that that's still there. The outside lens is the thing that sticks out. If the outside lens is missing, then it's going to be completely collapsed. There's nothing for the snow to sit on. They masked the beginning, the 508 video. Yes. Are you ready, JC? Are you going to come up and talk? It's okay if you're not, but if you're ready, you only got to follow the link that I sent you. Yeah, interesting, right? Also wondered if they messed with the back of John's Traverse, possibly. No, not yet, but soon. All right, let's continue. Hang on, I'm going to turn that thing out of the way. Let's continue with looking at this frame by frame, because like I'm seeing, what I see here is that there's definitely a and if it was broken, if the lens was broken, then it would be more like a so, and I can see the snow is actually sitting on top of something. Don't know what, but there's definitely snow sitting on top of something. It doesn't just like suspend in air and just not be sitting on something, right? It looks pretty normal to me, but as I said, I do not think that there is I do not think that that snow is just sitting on that angle for the fun of it. It's not just sitting in thin air with nothing underneath it. It's a pretty good. Once a windscreen wiper goes, which it's all nice and clean. Yeah, see, I don't think I needed to fuck with this one because the snow was on top of the lens, so it doesn't look like anything except the snow's on top of the lens. But to their way of looking at it, because it's white, you can't actually see the red lens. Therefore, it must not be there. There is definitely a hard edge there. Exactly. It's not sitting in thin air, right? Zoom in on the right tail light. See if there is pixelation. I can't zoom in too much. Oh, hang on. I can go more with this one. Hang on. I can. Let's do some more. More. Let's get right in there, like a close up. Whoa. Might need to go out just a little bit more. I might have just gone to a little bit too much. I don't see anything sort of obvious. I mean, I do see, hang on. I do see this, and I don't know what to make of this. Okay, let me just get out a little bit further. Because there is this weird thing in there that is a little odd. This dead straight line here, right? That is a little odd. So I can't put a friggin' square on it, but yeah, that line there is very, very straight, because that's actually when you look at the other side, you can see it's not straight like that, right? Here's the other side. It's not straight up and down. It's more of an angle. But then when you look at this, it's like very up and down, straight up and down. There's definitely something weird going on there. Straight up and down there. So, it could be weird, but I just feel like they didn't have to do much to this one. Whether it's there is a vertical line about 6 inches outside the car. Yeah, there's multiple, and they shouldn't be in this one. I see a hard line through the tail light that looks weird. Yeah, I see it too. It doesn't look right to me either. And then when you look at it with against the other side, well, so we've got the outside, which is not as clean and not as clean a line, is it? It's definitely not as clean. Where that's definitely it. Yeah, let me have a look what else we got. Just want to look at like anything else. So that's definitely like, that's a square, but it's not solid edge. This is a little bit more blurred, whereas when we look at it like up here a little bit more, it's definitely a sharper edge. It's not blurred. And did it just move? That's odd. I'll tell you what, something else that's like odd with this too is that it's going to catch us. It's going to catch us unaware. When you have the snow on the windshield, it's same thing happens with snow, with rain as snow. So you got your warm car, you've got a damp windscreen. You're now looking through moisture, like a thin amount of water. Red lens to the right, just outside of it. The reverse looks different. It seems like it's moving, but I think that some of this is movement from water, basically. Reverse light, which is white lens. Hey, Shell. Methinks me fucked up the time again. It's okay, y'all. It's all fine. You're here now. All right, so we'll go through. So I think some of this like movement is weirdness because we're looking through a wet windscreen, especially when the windscreen wiper like clears the windscreen. It seems to get worse, and then the windscreen wiper cleans it, and then it gets like more clear again. I can definitely see that angle is what the snow is resting on the actual tail light. I can't see. Hang on, we got someone. Wait, hang on. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. How you going, JC?
Hey.
Hey.
I just discovered something new that I don't
Yes.
think I ever saw anybody look at. The very first frames of the 508 video
Yes.
are obvious because okay, so when it starts,
Do you want to put it on the screen so we can step us through it? Blech. I don't know what's wrong with my mouth today, but I'm not really doing a very good job at speaking English today. But I'm happy to put it up on the screen. You say it's the very first couple of frames, right?
well, it's like the first maybe 100 frames or so. It dawned on me because okay, so what I was going to do, so I recently downloaded Blender 5.
Yep.
I've been so busy, I haven't really messed with anything. So like yesterday, I was saying I did updates, and I did end up running some really cool scripts in Python that did like heat maps and stuff. And
Yeah, nice.
but so the one spot I'm simultaneously in the background I'm having to update this one software so that I can share my screen. But anyway,
So you don't want me to put it on the screen. You want it to be a surprise for when you actually get to that point, right?
well, I'm getting to that point now, but well, it's not a surprise. But
Here it is.
I can't share my screen yet because I don't have any. Right now I'm talking through my phone.
Yeah, cool. You're still at
but
work.
No, I'm at home. No, actually, I was up for like 36 hours. Because on Monday, my boss said, "Hey, can you come in? I know your day off is yesterday, which was tomorrow, no, Tuesday, but I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Can you come in?" And anyway, it's like an hour and a half commute, depending on traffic. Um,
Nice.
and so I just and I hadn't planned for it, so couldn't fall asleep, so I just drove there in the middle of the night and then took a nap in my car, and then but I really didn't sleep, so I was up all day, and then anyway, got everything that we needed to get done, and then I crashed out in the middle of the night last night after watching your stream.
Right.
So
Well,
between
don't feel it under any pressure at all, because we can do this anytime. I don't want you to. I know
oh,
you've
no
got work
worries.
as well as
Yeah,
other
that's fine.
things.
Well, I at least wanted to tell you, yeah, because it cracks me up because I I don't know, I missed the first like 20 minutes. Did you is there still a delay, or is there less of a delay in the chat?
No, I did a. I actually remembered to press the stupid button.
It was
So no,
cracking me up because we're all like, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, stop, and then like a minute later you're like, oh, and then
yeah, yesterday I forgot to press the right button, but no, today everyone's on almost like no delay. So, but that's one of the reasons why we're only got 720p today, because if I do it with just a little bit of delay between us and the chat, then I can get a little bit higher quality. But I chose the least amount of delay today, which means we've got the very worst quality stream going out to everybody else right now. So it's one or the other. We can't have both. Is what I'm trying to
that's
say.
funny. Well, according to ChatGPT, and as I've been researching, because I need to get a new monitor for my computer, and when you're looking at, like HD and 4K and 8K, the pixel count, it's the high dynamic range is just as important as the pixel count. In other words, you know, you could have an infinite amount of detail. It's not going to matter if you can't, distinguish between the blackest blacks and the whitest whites, like
Right.
the contrast ratio or whatever. So, I basically, even if it cuts down to 720, that people still obviously can see what we're talking about. It's not like we had to zoom into like, oh, this this one single pixel. It literally has Proctor's name written on it.
Right.
But
Yeah. And we're not going to be able to do that with these files. And I do feel that was actually part of the point of doing what they did. Like most of the files are not from the camera, the Ring camera, like their MOV. I can't remember all of them now. MOV and WMV. Those are both Windows exports, and then there's another one which is it's got some metadata in it, like
but yeah, there's MP4, MOV, AVI.
there's another one that shows actual I'm just trying to think of it. QuickTime is the other fingerprint that I found in the metadata.
Oh, yeah.
So we
Yeah,
got lots of different machines. Like one's
okay,
a
so one of the first thing, so basically what I did last night after your stream was I told ChatGPT, let's basically, now that we have these files, I want to revisit this from a helped me come up with the methodology. And so it walked me through. We basically did just some basic reports. So like I took it analyzed the whole folder of Ring videos so that we know the first one and the last one. So the time frame is like Proctor said in terms of, the beginning of the 28th to the end of the 31st. Obviously, there's a lot missing, but it did, and then it went and it just did like a what is it? Do you ever use FFmpeg or FFprobe?
Yep. That's how I'm
So
doing a lot of my binary sort of comparisons. Like,
oh, that's right. Okay, so
yeah.
so yeah, what it did was it ran just a batch, did an FFprobe report on the entire folder, and then it was able to say, and because when like apparently, and the neat thing was it would say, okay, this is typically what a forensic video guy will do, and what it does is it takes, because you're thinking to yourself, well, if I've got just terabytes of data, how do I figure out where to look? And it can create it basically goes frame by frame for you and highlights the time codes that are like what you revealed the other day in terms of here's typical time code 5 frames or whatever, and then 65 frames missing in that one spot. So because it but it does that.
Finding the same results. Like, you are also finding that there is references to frames, but the frames aren't there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because and then it even says now, typically, you have things like, and so from a good standpoint, we're dealing with a camera that's fixed in space, and so when we do pixel change analysis, it's easy. Like for instance, the back of the traverse, I can identify exactly when the mask was applied. The Lexus, I haven't gotten to that yet because I need to do tracking so that when I hit play, the Lexus stays in the middle of the screen, and then we can track the pixels and be able to better identify. But remember when I said yesterday, I swear that snowstorm, for all we know, it's like, some expert VFX guy would be like, hey, that looks a lot like the Blender snowstorm pack that I downloaded, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because
I knew exactly what you meant.
okay, so because like for instance, even if you just step frame by frame in the 507 or 50, I don't know what time it was exactly, but
it's 507. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you do frame by frame, okay, it's like you see her vehicle is starting to come out. You see the red go from wide to more confined, but there's of course, then you can obviously wait a minute. There's an entire mask covering the driveway because her car stops backing out because they masked the passenger taillight, right? So the reflections don't match. Also, okay, so the back, let's see, so you get the back end of her car coming out of the garage, right? So the only lights that the camera supposedly sees is the light, but she's only halfway there before, like, where does all of a sudden it gets bright white? Well, what changed? Did a motion light come on, or you know what I'm saying?
There's a floodlight, so I'll take you to it.
But still, it's inconsistent because there's
you
the
can
first
actually
frame,
hear it
because the first frame is only half, and then the second frame is full on snow. And then
Right,
it's like,
and
wait,
that's
what?
the adjustment. I think it's the adjustment when the light comes on, it like blasts the light, and then the camera adjusts itself to match it. So just listen to the click. You can hear it's right. It must be right next to the camera because you can hear the floodlight turn itself on. Have a listen. Okay, I went too far. Have a listen again.
Oh man. Well, at least you got to burst my bubble. All
Did
like,
you
hey,
hear it?
yes, I did. I'm
It
like all
clicked.
excited, and you're like, hey, dude, that's a floodlight.
Sorry,
Oh,
I apologize. But you
well,
can hear it if you
no, that's
if
awesome. I'm
you
glad that I'm like, because then I don't have to keep going down that road. But I swear, at the very first pixels as she's backing out, you do see at frame 32, 33, all of a sudden the vehicle stops and it's not moving anymore, but there's shadow moving still.
All right, let's get to that point then.
So from between frames 30 and 50, the vehicle stops going backwards.
You talking about when she hits his car?
No, from the very beginning, just
Oh,
as
right back to
yeah.
the start.
Hmm.
Oh my God, you're right. Right at the start there, she's actually stopped right there.
Right, but there's still shadow moving.
Yep,
They literally started to apply a mask before her vehicle even comes into view,
yep.
because because it's like, okay, how would the shadow be moving when the vehicle supposedly isn't moving?
Right. Well, I don't want to spoil too much of what you're discovering, so I don't want to go too far further into
Oh,
it.
I just figured I would at least pop in and talk to you about it. I know
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were,
I like where you're going. I like where you're
and
heading.
the thing that's frustrating. So the video I'll definitely run some scripts on next is the one you were looking at, with when they've come back to the house. I was wondering the same thing, just browsing through the different videos, wondering um, why there's random people there. There's random things they're blurring out, random people they're blurring out. Obviously, they deleted audio clips from some of the, like even in the dash cam footage. There's some uh, there's some juicy audio bits from inside, but then like in Good's police cruiser, they cut out some audio. Um, but and then in these ring videos, they cut out the audio so that we couldn't hear them, plotting and scheming.
But I mean, this whole thing's been mind-boggling because what we were seeing when it was being filmed on screen and then streamed to YouTube was really hard to make sense of what we were seeing, and it was such bad quality because of all the extra layers of streaming that that were between us and the actual they were seeing in the courtroom. So when we got the original files and stuff, like it would just completely changed everything, like how we could look at what's going on. I don't know, and I see Rachel's in the chat now. She joined us a little late. Rachel, do we have in the files yet the Sallyport footage? Because I think that's one that we're going to have to pay attention to. There's so much going on in the Sallyport footage, but I don't want to analyze what we saw streamed on the screen. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. That was the frustrating thing. That's why I had mentioned the the most difficult part of analyzing their video is the when it's like when the camera in the courtroom is getting bumped, and or the TV. So we're not getting a video that's fixed in place. So then you have to try to, you know, pixel track the camera
Right.
and
And
lock it in
sometimes
place.
they weren't even focused on the screen that where they were showing the jury. Sometimes they would just got the camera over here at the person talking. It's like, no, we don't want to see that. We want to see the screen now. It was very
Oh my
frustrating.
goodness. That's the fun. And actually that's in all the in all of like the blended clips of like reacts videos that you did in the first trial. The some of the best reactions are the different lawyers, you know, saying, "What the heck are you looking at?" You know, camera guy.
Like, pay attention, camera guy. It's time to move. Well, I
Like,
think
why are you
that
looking up that lady's nostrils? Or it's like they just managed to zoom in on the weirdest look.
they like the aunties had a go at me because I did a cartoon version of looking up her nostrils, and even when I asked the AI to make the cartoon for me. It's like, well, no, I can't. That sounds like you're just being mean. It's like, no, I'm not. That's what they did. The camera guy pointed the camera at the girl's nostrils, and it was funny. So then the AI agreed to make the image for me. But before that, it was like, yeah, no, I don't know. And then when I put the video out with that picture, they were like, oh my god, you're so disgusting. It's like,
That actually reminds me, somebody who has extensive experience getting the Chat GPT to conform was I don't know if you've ever watched some of the Anti-Deb Jimmy's streams. All these aside, he's, you know, talked about, well, no, I want you to, you know, like he's like, I'm doing satire, so do this, and then it's like try and push back, like, that sounds like, no, you're gonna do it, and he finally, and he was going between Grok and ChatGPT. This was like a couple months ago or something, but
yeah, sometimes you got to fight with them. They're like, no, I can't produce that image. It sounds like you're having a go at people. It's like, no, I'm not. Innocent, true. Not my
or
fault.
no, this is forensic analysis. Are you serious? No.
Yeah, it's only ChatGPT that argues with you. The other ones
Right.
are actually pretty good. Like like there's hundreds of them that you just put your prompt in and it'll generate the picture. It won't even argue with you. You don't even get a prompt back about it. They just give you the picture. So it's only ChatGPT that wants to argue with you, and sometimes Grok.
Well, and the funny thing is, Grok, they've had to put a lot of, they have to patch Grok all the time because, you know, it not only is it trained on a model, but it also is learning as it goes. And obviously, there's a lot of people that are trying to make not so safe for, you know, videos, and it's learning from itself. And then if you don't give it enough prompts, it will moderate.
It's crazy. But I mean, I understand why it's doing that. It's because everyone jumps up and down about whenever it's wrong. It's like, oh my God, it's like the whole world has come to an end when the AI is wrong. It's like, don't rely on the AI, you dickhead. You use the AI if you want to confirm something that you found. Like one thing the AIs do really good is math. All right, checking your math, finding out what the formulas are, those sort of things. That I find the AI is pretty good no matter where you go for that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Pattern recognition, running algorithms,
Yep.
iterating through that's the thing, that the hugest time saver. It's,
And
you know,
then I
AI
also
is easy.
sorry.
I was gonna say, it's, you know, we're lazy. We want to just say AI because machine learning is too long to type. But you know, it isn't like intelligent, right? It's but it is, like you said, it's very good at calculations.
The video is being compressed. The reason why in one video John's SUV is backing up and the driveway is literally pixelated all around the car as it moves. I don't know which video you're talking about, but that compression does do that. Yes, compression makes weird shit happen.
That's definitely the thing. It's not literally taking 20 pictures a second. It's it's only displaying changes in pixels between frames to save, and then there's compression, and
Right.
the snowstorm gave them so much cover.
So all the movement that we see, for example, in the Sallyport videos, that's from ultra compression. There's also video that I showed you just before, which is when Jen and everyone turns up to go check if John's already in the house, where Karen and the niece have already checked. That video is like way hugely compressed. And then, yeah.
Well, and that compression usually indicates re-encoding.
Sorry. Anything munchable. Sorry. My son's gone to the store. I'm like, get munchies.
That's funny. What was I thinking about?
It's one of the videos before it's
right. The overall. So the resolution. So that was one of the other reports it did. Resolution is all. So you could basically get a statistical. You could just determine what it should be versus what they actually did, right?
When you say resolution, you're talking about that 960 by 544 weird number. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
I originally thought that was because they must have cropped it, but the image is the size of the other ones. But 19, what is it? Shoot. 1080, 1920 by 1080, I believe.
Right. The other ones are, well, the ones that I think are supposed to be like genuine ring, they're 1920 by 1086. Yeah. And
then ring, the video or the camera is recording at 20 frames a second, but in this video, it's 19.78 frames per second, like you stated, because there's missing frames and it's taking the entire frame count, and because it has to know how to play like based on bit rate. And then it's like there's so, and I can see why the defense that there's only so much so many rabbit holes they could run down, right? And so they did the best one, which was to focus on the science. But maybe in the civil they'll because obviously, like in the motion that they finally replied, everyone's like, hey, they didn't, her lawyers didn't say that they misquoted that, and they finally did.
Like, yeah, that stuff's really annoying me. Like, they're all kicking a stink about it right now. Like, they're saying, oh, it was denied, and it wasn't denied. It was actually, the judge basically said, if Karen ends up getting the video back, so he's not going to overrule the other judge in the criminal case, which I knew he wouldn't, because this is only a civil case, so I kind of guessed that he wasn't going to overrule the other judge. So I can't remember the names of the two judges, by the way. So I guess that was going to happen. But he said if she gets the phones back, she has to promise not to destroy anything. That's what the ruling was. But they're just making such a big, oh, no, she was rejected. She's not allowed to have her phone back. That's not what he said at all. He basically batted it back to the other judge who was already ruled on giving her phone back.
Um, right. Because they're keeping two phones, but one phone was taken by Tully and the other phone was taken by Proctor. And the one, I mean, the Judge Canone at the end of the trial, when they finally fought to get her property back, the phone was supposed to go back to her. So that even that other phone that they grabbed,
Right. So
the
Canoni's already ruled on it, give her phone back, and they haven't given it back. Now she's had to do another motion to this other judge, and he's saying giving it back, and they're still saying no, we're not giving it back. So yeah.
when that hearing with the I think it's Judge Doolin. I think he's
Yeah.
the one who's like, Mr. Better. Anyway, he's like, you know, in the look. Wait, wasn't he the guy that had the look on his face, like when Cosgrove's up there giving a long-winded speech about nothing, and then their attorney from the civil case is like on the phone. Hey, he wants to talk to, and I almost imagine the judge is hiding under the desk until the smoke clears.
Right. Rachel, just give me the file name because I got to do a whole fucking rigmarole of signing in again to go back to Morrissey's website. So if you can just give me the file name, just the name part, then I can just do a quick search on my hard drive and grab it that way.
I just realized Data Decoder 11 is Rachel, right? That's who you keep
Correct.
talking to? I was like,
Correct.
is she off screen somewhere? Is she in the house?
No, Data Decoder is Rachel. So phones have been set. There's nothing for her to delete or modify other than the OS. But the thing is, so there's a number of phones, right? When they first arrested her, they took her first phone.
Mm-hmm.
That one's not reset. They've got that data. Then
Yeah, that's the
a
one the
year,
green said that location data was deleted.
right. A year later, they decided to try and pin some of Total Boy's activities on her. And then they come and took two more phones. One of those she managed to reset, but she didn't get the other one reset. So they've got one that is reset that they've still got, but they've also got one that was not reset. So there's three different phones from two different episodes. I know it's confusing, but that's the way I think it works, right?
And then who was it that said, "Oh, she's got a phone. She doesn't need these other ones." Like that's not how property works. Are you kidding me?
Judge Crap and Judge Crop and Doolin. So Doolin is the one who's just ruled in the criminal case to give her phone back. And then Judge Carp is the one that just said, I'm not going to overrule Doolin. I think that's how it works, Michelle. If I got
Oh
the names.
yes, yeah. And then I've heard, some lawyers that went through it say, yeah, there's always a rules or laws or things that tell them to preserve evidence already, but then they make explicit requests to preserve evidence just to put it on the record, like what Yannetti did. But it still doesn't mean that they needed to do that. So for them to try to say, "Oh, she'll try to delete it or manipulate it," like, no.
This is a great question, Strong Leg. And what you saw with Carp and Doolin is how it's supposed to work. They usually don't overrule each other, especially when one's only civil and the other one is criminal. But you've got a good point here because Bev is actually above them again because she's a superior court. So both of the lower courts should actually be abiding by her order and not overruling her. But I don't think that Doolin did that. Doolin said, Bev's made a decision. I'm sticking to it. She gets her phone back. And then
There would be no
did the same
question
thing. Sorry?
that it would be more obvious if they had used a proper naming convention with their court system. So if Bev's in the superior court, that means that the other court is what? The inferior court. So you can have,
Exactly.
if you're going to have a superior court, doesn't that mean that by default that everything below it is the inferior court?
So we name our court system completely different to you guys, but it's the same sort of hierarchy because we have the magistrate court, which is non-criminal. It's just misdemeanors and non-criminal. And then when you go to the criminal court, that's generally what we call it, the criminal court. It does have other names, but that's what we would call it. And then from there, you would go to the appeals court. And then from there, you've got different ones for, there's the state Supreme Court, and then there's the High Court. So that's how the hierarchy goes from bottom to top in Australia. But you guys have just weird naming conventions, so no one can tell one from the other.
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, but I can fix daylights. Right. All right. So we're looking forward to seeing what it is that you produce with it's good that you decided to go with Blender because it does run the Python scripts, and you can also write your own Python scripts. And just a little tip, if you're using Claude AI, it'll even write you some extra little Python scripts to plug into your Blender, just so you know. It'll help you, like, it'll at least give you, I don't know, I just found that the last few versions of Claude are getting better and better. So when you first get your bit of code from Claude and you test it, it's generally pretty good straight up, straight out of the copy and paste and into your Blender. But sometimes when you want it to do a little bit more technical stuff, it gets a bit mixed up. So you do have to go through the code line by line and make sure everything's good with it. But it is getting better. But Claude's actually really good at writing Blender code, believe it or not.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is Claude, is that part of Anthropic?
Anthropic, yeah. Yeah. So, and obviously you got to pay for it if you want Claude to actually be smart. Otherwise you get the dumb version. You get the dumbed down version that's not quite as smart. Let me just look at the names so I can tell you. So if you're on a free account, you'll get Haiku, and Haiku is not near as smart or efficient. You'll get basic code out of Haiku, but certainly not anything as intense as Claude Sonnet 4.6 extended. So, and then you've got Opus as well, but even the new version of Sonnet is even better than Opus. Well, it depends what you're trying to do with it, I guess. But as far as the Blender code goes, if you want to write like an extra bit of code for your Blender app to run in Python, go with Claude Sonnet, the latest version.
I can't remember. Have you talked about any of those that you did with Blender in any of your videos? I
didn't actually do any Blender stuff. My son does all the Blender stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually, when I went from a computer and a full keyboard and everything to my laptop, I forgot how to operate, because you know how Blender's all like key sequences. It's a lot better if you know what keys and everything you're pressing, and you need your mouse so that you can actually press key combinations with your mouse. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm on the laptop, I can't actually operate Blender anymore. I'm all spastic. So I just go to my son, here, can you fix this, please? Tell me what this does. He does it all for me now. So I'm getting a bit lazy in my old age.
That's efficient.
Right, because he's working with Blender and writing code all the time, like, because he writes his own Blender add-ons for different things, like he does like texture packages, like different ways to apply texture to things and stuff. So he's writing that sort of code all the time. So when I need something done, instead of sitting there, hurting my brain over remembering how to do everything, it's just like, here you go. Can you work this out, please? And give me the results. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't always work, but because like sometimes I'll walk towards him with my laptop and he'll hide under the bed. Not literally, but that's kind of what happens. It's like, no, I don't want to work
The
on your
door
shit.
slams. Did you hear the car speed off?
But I don't know if you did hear it speed off just a minute ago, but he did speed off. No, he is actually going to the store, but I didn't ask him to do anything today. But this is what happened like way early in the piece when I was doing 3D demonstrations of things. Like I kind of proved that if your lighting source is coming from lots of different directions, you're going to end up with a black soul. And people were like, no, I don't want to hear that. La, la, la. Well, he did that. He did that, the 3D demos for that sort of stuff. So he was interested in the early days, you know, I can do this for you and I can do that for you. And oh, yeah, I know how to do that. But then it got like to the point where every time I walked towards him with the laptop, he'd be like, oh, hide.
I do remember that you had a lot of videos with him doing stuff.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I only come to you because you're good at it.
If you weren't so good at it, I wouldn't ask you. But yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm hijacking your right now because I'm not adding anything extra. And my kids keep tapping on my shoulder to take the dog for a walk.
All right.
I'll keep listening, and I'll be prepared next time.
Whenever. We are not in a hurry. No pressure at all.
That's true.
So,
Karen's at home, so
it's good to see that someone is actually though testing my theories and running the same sort of codes and digging into the binary. Like that's what we need. It can't just fall back on this is Aussie's word for it. People have to test my theories and make sure. You might find other things that I missed, and you might find things where I was picking up a lot of noise in the binary and it wasn't actually something that should have been, in my analysis or something like that. So it's good that you're doing it.
Well, and to be fair, all of your videos, the demonstrations, you never say this is how it is. You lay out what your methodology is, and then you demonstrate, and you're like, you decide for yourself. But so that's I don't think anyone's saying, or at least I've never heard an intelligent person say, hey, Aussie's out there telling us we need to believe this.
Well, the aunties are kind of on that page, but we don't listen to them, essentially.
Right.
All right, you go do what you got to do and keep in touch on X in messages.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you've got something ready, you're ready to show, I'll book us in for another live stream and we'll do it all once you're ready. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks,
cool. Thanks for jumping up.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
All right. So there you go, guys. You got something to look forward to. JC's kind of onto what's going on there, using all the right software, the apps and stuff. So FFmpeg and what's the other one? Oh my God, I can't remember the names of them all, but they're all kind of the same sort of vein, I guess. They're all Python packages that dig into the binary. So awesome. What's he trying to accomplish? Different ways to express the same things that I've already expressed, I guess, is what he's trying to accomplish. He's got a couple of ideas, so I'm just letting him go for it. Like, do your thing, man, and I'll stick it on the screen. But yeah. But this is exactly what I'm inviting. If you're a codes person, or you how to write Python code, or you're familiar with digging into binaries, or you know how to get FFmpeg to give you reports on, looking through the binaries, all that sort of stuff, welcome it. Like, I am absolutely not hard and fast on only I can find these answers. I'm pretty sure that there's a whole bunch of us out there. We all got different talents. We've all got different ways that we look at things. And sometimes when you've got a different perspective of looking at something, you can find something else that the other person didn't. So I absolutely welcome it. And there's a few people who type comments in the under my videos, hey, I know how to do XYZ, can I be of help? I'm like, yes, please, here's the link, go and grab the files and tell me what you want. Tell me what you see, tell me what you find. This is my methodology here in the video. I don't often show, you know, the code that got me to those results, because I don't want to spoon feed the next person into the same conclusion that I have. I want people to do it their own way and see if their conclusions end up in the same place, rather than I'm food speeding my own. Oh, are you buffering? Am I buffering? I actually do have some rain coming. It's just started like sprinkling on my roof. I learn a lot by just telling my GPT what I want to do and say, walk me through it. Yep, that's a good one. But, you know, I don't necessarily rely on GPT for any of that anymore. Trust me, if you go to Claude, you're going to appreciate how unhelpful ChatGPT actually is when you get to Claude. So ask Claude more than you ask ChatGPT. That's how I learn so much too, JC. Yeah. Connie, your input is important too. I mean, that's what I said to you the other day, isn't it, Rachel? I was like, I had to duck out, and Rachel's like, hang on, what does this mean? And I'm like, oh my God, just paste this, what I just said to you, into Claude, and ask Claude to tell you while I duck out and duck back, because that will be a lot easier than me trying to explain it to you. So it was the HTML page that I showed you yesterday. I had sent it through to Rachel before I actually got down to making any final conclusions about it. I wanted her to look at it first. So I sent it through to her. I had to duck out. So just paste that HTML to Claude and see what Claude says. So by the time I got back, Rach had it all ironed out. She knew exactly what was going on, because Claude like filled it all in for her. You do mean AI in general, or Gemini? Yeah. Sure. I think Gemini is actually a little bit better than ChatGPT. I'm not putting ChatGPT down. I've used it for like general stuff. But it is very general, ChatGPT. There are better, like the Gemini is good for a little bit deeper than general, but you want to go deep with your coding, and it doesn't matter, HTML, JavaScript, Python, C++, SQL, like just don't even go to anyone else except Claude. But yes. Everyone has their strengths, Cornpote. Everyone has their strengths, and it's all of those things combined that bring us to conclusions, and it's not just because I said so. I'm certainly not in that category of. You do have that a lot with computer people, right? That what they say goes, and only their. I find this mostly with males, oddly enough, but only their opinion counts, and you can't have an opinion. They're right and you're wrong, end of story. I'm not that sort of computer person. I'm definitely on the computing sciences are such a wide and vast field. I can never know all of it. Like, I'm not this stuff that I've been doing lately. Well, here's what we're just doing now. This is not one of my strengths, right? Video is not one of my strengths. I generally get how it works. Otherwise, how do I make my own videos if I don't get, the basics? So there's that. Then with photography, I've played with photography. I've fixed photos, family photos that were otherwise ripped or got degraded through cyclones and floods or whatever. So I've done a little bit of that as well, but I'm certainly not, this isn't one of my strong points. SQL is one thing where I'm probably not going to back down because I'm pretty sure I know that one backwards. there's going to be very little that anybody is going to get me to back down on with SQL, because that's my strongest out of all the different topics in the computer sciences. But you just can't know everything. Like, people act like they know everything, they're lying to you, right? I don't know how it works in America. It's divided up into two different fields, I guess, two general sort of topics here in Australia. So you study the science, computing science, and then you can go into the hardware stream, which is how the electronics generates ones and zeros and gets all hooked up with the little boards and the little tracks between the boards and all that sort of shit. Or you can go the software stream, which is what I did, and that's the software engineering. And then inside of both of those two fields, you've got artificial intelligence is one type of predictive software engineering, I guess you could call it something like that. I'm probably butchering the terminology because I didn't study this particular area. I did do some AI studies in my course, but it wasn't my major. My major is business applications. So taking a database, putting an interface to it, making sure that the communication between the database and the interface stays connected, and that the interface is saying something meaningful to the user rather than just looking at a database. So that's the business end of what I studied. But then you can go, gaming is another one again. Gaming's a hardcore subject in the same stream, but I remember sitting through lectures sometimes, and then students who were a lot younger than me putting their hands up in the middle of a lecture class going blah, blah, blah about this whole freaking concept with their gaming app that they're somehow fitting full-time university and writing a freaking game. And some of those questions were way over my head, like, because it's not the area that I was studying. I was studying specifically business. They were studying specifically to write games or whatever. So, and then in the hardware, there's all different things with hardware. There's instrument fitting, like as in, if you, for example, at the mines and you've got like bunches of machinery out there running all different things like conveyor belts and all stuff going on. So you've got instrument panels, there's all that sort of hardware side of things. But then you've also got, just your home computer and its motherboard and all the shit in there, that sort of hardware thing. So it's just too big for any one person to go, oh yeah, I know everything. So I'm generally pretty honest, and I'll tell you, like, I don't know everything. I'm happy to admit that. So it's good if we all pull our different fields of expertise together and test all these theories and work out, what's going on. I fully appreciate when I can avoid using the mouse by learning all the keyboard shortcuts or terminal actions. Yes, me too. Me too. I still have a Tandy. Wow. Radio Shack. I use offline for Family Tree. There you go. There's a blast from the past. So up until I moved here to this cabin that I'm staying in right now, I still had a whole box of 386 parts. Believe it or not. I don't even know why I kept them for so many years. Though I had like a big carton full of all these bits and pieces when my kids were younger. Instead of just going out and buying them computers, I just went and rummaged through different things around the, secondhand shops, and I would just build them a little 386, and they would do the little home network thing. Games weren't really hardcore processor heavy back then. You needed like a little bit more memory than you did like anything else. So I would just build them like a little, go big floppy disks. Exactly. My partner's first computer was a Commodore 64. That was my first computer. Well, my dad got the first Commodore 64. Was our first ever experience with it. And the funny thing is, he sat there and wrote. You remember Pong? It was one of the first games he wrote on the 64, the Pong game. But give him, add 10 years onto his lifespan after that, all of a sudden he's like, no, I don't know how to code. And I'm like, yeah, you do. You used to write these games for us. I thought I was a coding master when I had MySpace back in the day. I remember that. That was HTML coding, but yeah. But back then I was at uni, so I absolutely was not a coding master, and I was the same as you. Just because I could decorate my space, I thought I was good. Funny how that one died in the ass. It was so popular, hey? Keyboard overlays, what is that? So if you go back to WordPerfect, so before Microsoft Office, there was WordPerfect, and to operate your WordPerfect on a screen where you didn't have a mouse, you had like a template that sat over the top of your keyboard, and then you had key combinations and things that were written on the template to tell you how to open menus and find shit. So that's what those are. Me and Ozzy saw the birth of the internet. Yeah, I think you guys had it a little bit sooner than we did. Because like I'm right on the 6 months before the millennium, like 2000 hit. Probably a bit longer than that, but like 8 months before millennia, before the year 2000. Remember, everyone was scared everything was going to break because of the millennial problem. So I'm about 8 months into my course when that comes along. When I first started my course 8 months before that, the internet was actually pretty new to everyone. It was mostly only education, like unis and schools and stuff that had access to it. It wasn't really common in the home sort of use arena. But yeah, that's it, the Y2K bug. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but yes, that one. I remember WordPerfect. Those were the days. Shit was too easy when it was like just a keyboard template, right? I still miss WordStar. I don't even remember WordStar. I remember WordPerfect and everything in between. I don't know about WordStar. So yeah, rhetorical question, Ozzy. You aged us. Oops. Oops. I'd forgotten what a 386 was. Yeah. That was my, start and end, I guess. So we went from 386s when I learnt to build a machine. Then we went to 486s, and things got a little bit more complex because you had to learn how to flip a few more switches, I guess, inside the motherboard. And then we went to 586s, and it started getting harder to plug the shit together again. After 586s, I stopped because I just like, ugh, head fuck, don't want to do hardware anymore. And now my son has taken over. He does the computer building, so he keeps up with the hardware side of shit. I don't have to anymore, so I really don't like hardware. My guy was IT director at Deloitte during Y2K. I forgot your guy was IT. I'm totally in awe of all the tech knowledge. I have 62 years experience driving in snow. Well, that makes you invaluable, my girl. I don't know if you're a girl or a boy, actually. I've never established which one you are, so correct me if I'm wrong, but 62 years experience driving in snow is freaking awesome. I know why snow coverage can be confusing. It's the tech stuff that provides the video fuckery. Right. Bingo. See, you're onto it. You might be older than dirt, but you know you're onto it. Predecessor of WordPerfect. Holy shit. Didn't even know there was a predecessor. There you go. I remember Atari. We used to have an Atari box too. Like, that would have been maybe years after the Commodore 64. We had the Atari. I'm old. What can I say? Well, you must be older than me because I don't even remember a predecessor. No, but here's the truth. I didn't get into computers until my kids were at school. Like, I went to uni. I quit school at 14. So I didn't even finish grade 10. And then when my youngest was in grade 1, that was 6 months before that, I enrolled myself in uni. I was like, I got to pull my finger out because I'm too smart for this shit. Too smart for this single parenting bullshit. So I put myself back into uni as an adult. So there might have been a whole lot that went on before WordPerfect that I wasn't even aware of. So when I was at school, we were still doing electric typewriter. I don't even think we got to electric. Did we? No, I don't even think we'd gotten to electric typewriters because I went to school in the outback, all these little country places in the middle of freaking nowhere. So I don't know what they had in the cities. They probably did have electric long before we did out in the bush. Old in the dirt, snow doesn't lie like the cops. If we were taillight pieces under the snow, we would have seen taillight shapes of snow sticking up. They acted like the snow just hides everything. Exactly. My first game I ever played was Atari. There you go. All right, guys. So we have been 3 hours again. All on pretty much the same video again. Which means we got tons more. I still haven't got to Rachel's, like, comparing the sidewalk stuff yet. So I need to get some video names from her to pull them all up on the screen. So we might do that one if we can get JC organized in time and do Rachel's little query about the footpath snow. But if you're looking here on this screen, see this little bit of snow here on the footpath? Go through all of the snow footage in the FOIA and watch that change. So me personally, I think it's to do with the way concrete holds the heat, and so you get a little bit of snow on top, and then the heat sort of melts it a bit, and then you get a bit more snowfall and the heat sort of melts it a little bit until your concrete is the same temperature as the ground, and then it will get covered up entirely. I don't know. But there is some stuff going on there with that little sidewalk area, which is worth noting because you guys know how the snow works and I don't. So you were incognito for many months, so I'm glad you've been live recently. I was incognito. I don't really like doing live streams, JC. I mean, I like it. I like hanging out with you guys in the live streams. I'm not as fluent and logical if I'm on a live stream, if that makes sense. Like, words drop out of my head. If I'm doing a pre-recording and a whole bunch of words fall out of my head, I just put the laptop aside and go make a coffee, rethink through where I was going. You know what I mean? I can't do that on a live stream. So words fall out of my head. Sometimes I find it difficult to read the chat writing, so I've got to switch a screen around so I'm reading different type of writing. And other times fucking everything falls out of my head. You can't hide that on a live stream, but you can hide that on a pre-record. So it's the only reason I prefer the pre-record. It's not because I don't like hanging out with you guys, I do. So other than that, maybe you will have good insight on this. I had electric typewriter. Yeah, me too. But I think you and I are around the same age. I don't think there's too much difference between our ages. It also depends if they were throwing salt on the sidewalk. Well, there you go. See, I never thought of that either. You took a break because of the, oh yeah. Or I actually took that break because I had a bunch of shit to attend to with my build. So, which just reminds me, I'm going to have to do that again. I've got to put everything down for at least a week, so I can finalize some of these drawings and stuff. I had to revisit my drawings to change some shit around. So, because you're real, yeah. Well, sometimes that reel gets like forgetful and tongue-tied. Sometimes a little bit too real. I have asphalt driveway. Snow will melt faster off of it than my neighbour's concrete driveways. And there you go. This is all shit I didn't know about snow. So we love you. Thank you, Strong Leg. We still use typewriters when I first joined the army. There you go. They could have put out some snow melt. Well, okay, I don't know what that is. But I did learn the other day that there's some shit like that you can put on your windscreen. So I learnt that on our last live stream. Who remembers the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog in typing class? Carolyn, that is still actually in the that is still the Microsoft default for looking at all your fonts. It's still that. Also, if the dry vent is pointed at the side, there's another one. There's another one I didn't think of, having never been in the snow before. Real is real and honest is honest, and you both are. I try to be. I tried my best, mate. I heard you say miss the snow going to Tasmania. Yeah, I did. I was so shattered. I mean, I flew there specifically to see the snow, and it melted while I was getting there. So, Canada, all the snows. I was thinking salt, same as snow melt was put down, but go through the videos and let me know. It doesn't seem to match that, but maybe. I don't know. I was just thinking, Rachel, just sticking it up there and showing everyone what you noted and see what they come up with. Like, did you know that sentence has every letter in the alphabet? That's why it's important. Right. That's why Microsoft still uses it. Hang on, let me check what Apple uses. I haven't looked for a long time. Let me have a look what Apple uses. Where's the font viewer? Font viewer, font book. Oh yeah, Apple still uses the quick brown fox as well. So there you go. Dun dun. I don't know how I didn't know that because I just finished writing a whole bunch of fonts for Google. You'd think I'd know what the fuck it says in the font viewer. It's not like I didn't look at it 20,000 times a day for freaking 2 years. Just want to see one of my fonts. Let me grab it. I've only got one installed at the moment because I'm picky, but let me just show you. Replace that. Here we go. The first one here. This one here, that's my font. New South Wales cursive. Well, I actually have all of them. I've got cursive and print and non-cursive. I've got the outlines, like if you want to teach kids how to do it, the dotted lines, the school version of all of that. I've got the whole, even the little arrow version. So that's why it took so long to make it. But yeah, that's That's my font right there. I'm really leaning towards the drive in. Do we know if the laundry room was close to that side of the house? Not sure. Not sure, Kelty. But what we'll do is the next video, I'll line up all the videos and show you the sequence, because it's like different from when Karen leaves in the morning to when they arrive back again to see if John's there, to when they leave and then come back later again in the morning. It's different in all of those spaces, and that's what Rachel had noticed. It was different because that's only an hour. That's not even an hour space. I think it's like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes between Karen leaving and then coming back with Jen and everyone, Jen and Kerry. So it is weird. So I use it to practice handwriting. It's a perishable skill. I can't even handwrite anymore, JC. Apple users, quick, get your lazy wallets out. Well, they added and runs away, and I don't know why. The quick brown fox jumps over lazy dog and runs away. I don't know why they had to add that. Different combinations of lettering, maybe, that the quick brown fox part didn't sort of cover. Because that was something that I found really difficult with creating a cursive writing, because your end tick off of your previous letter has to match something coming into your next letter. And I found that really, really hard. And some combinations were a lot harder than others to get the spacing to look right. I really struggled with that. So I have number 1 XP in chat. Does that mean I get an extra play on Pac-Man? I don't know. I never knew that sentence had every letter of the alphabet. I'll definitely look back if we don't get to it here. Yeah, no, we'll get to it in the next. So I will get together with Rachel and get her to list all of the videos that she got each of those bits from. I'll get that list from her, and then we'll do that in our next live stream. Have a look at each of those as to how the footpath changes. Sherlock Holmes can help us solve this. If we eliminate all the possibilities, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, is likely the answer. That's what I said to Jeff. That's exactly what I said to Jeff. He was here for a bit and then he disappeared, so... All right, guys, so that's it. I'm done. I'm spent 3.5 hours, which is very close to our 4 hours yesterday. We are done. Thank you all for popping in and saying hello. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your eyeballs on the frame by frames. I'll try to get a little more organized so that we've got more choices actually sitting in my folder ready to go. So have a think about, what other ones you want to look at. I think there's the 5 a.m. footage. I think there is some fuckery afoot with the 5 a.m. footage. We've already done a video on the library footage, which is too hard to break down in a live stream, but we can look at the 5 a.m. footage from the other camera. I can't remember which camera it is now. The Temple Beth Temple, whatever the fuck it is. We've got that 5 a.m. footage. We've also got a lot more audio that we haven't gone through from the Canton PD. We also have a lot more ring footage from John's front ring camera. So there's still more we can do. We will jump into it and do some more over the next couple of weeks. So, but I do have to take a break for at least 1 week to get my final drawings over to the architects. So at some stage that's got to happen. Pull my finger out and do it. In the meantime, everyone, behave. We will talk to you again very soon. And those who want to reach out on X for whatever it is that you need, remind me so I don't forget you. And I'll send you the links or the files or whatever it is that you asked for. So talk to you over there. Bye. Be good. Ciao. Thank you to the mods as well. Bye.